Welcome back to episode 276 of the Hockey Cards Gongshow podcast.
It's Baba Louie's Hobby Hot Takes Show with producer Phil and cousin Josh.
Time to pass the torch.
No.
Good luck, buddy.
That would work well.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Producer Phil.
Just because there's a PP and it works phonetically, I don't think it's a good idea, boys.
No. Hi, boys. What's up?
Hi. Nothing.
What's going on?
Louie, how are you?
Good.
Okay. Anything to report?
No.
Good, because we need to get right into Phil.
What?
Who on our last show, very controversially, reported that he had eaten 29 and a half chocolate chip cookies in one setting, laying down in bed, whatever you want to call it, right?
Yes.
That your lady friend had made for you. She made you a whole. Now you said these were giant chocolate chip cookies, right?
They were a very unhealthy size, yes.
Okay. And then you had a resulting tum-tum situation going on after that?
Yeah, the cookie dough got into my veins somehow, and I was sluggish like goat meat for a couple of, probably like 3 to 4 days.
You can say a lot about us on the show, but we do our research. Maybe not sometimes well, but we do our homework at least. You know, C's get degrees, Louis. That's what they say. So I had to dig in on this whole situation and learn a little bit more about what the potential impact of eating 29 and a half chocolate chip cookies would be. So I went to my great friends, the robots at ChatGPT, and I asked them, first question, Phil, was how many calories and grams of sugar?
I don't want to know that, man. I don't want to know this.
No,
I don't want to know this.
And I'm going to tell you, my disclaimer here is I took the most conservative because they gave a range and everything, and I took the smallest number. So just remember that. Now, they're saying a large chocolate chip cookie is about 4 inches in diameter. Do you want to?
No, I would say
how many calories?
I would say they're about 3. They were about, okay, no, you know what? They were, 4 would be reasonable.
Okay. You don't want to guess how many calories are in about a 4-inch large cookie, chocolate chip?
I'm in 200?
It'd be 400.
Times 2.
Oh, really? Well, chocolate dip donut from Tim Hortons is 160 calories. An apple fritter, I think, is 210, which is surprising because, like, I can crush 2 apple fritters and a chocolate dip, and that's not even 1,000 calories. I only consume about 2,000 to 2,500 calories a day normally.
Okay.
Well, your fritter,
that's good to know. That's good.
You'd have been better off with 29 and a half of those.
I know.
So according to the robots, one large chocolate chip cookie is about 400 calories and 30 grams of sugar. Now, remember, you had 29 and a half. So this is a big time math here. You got to carry the 1 divided by 7 multiplied by pi. I don't know. I just used a calculator because this isn't a math show. And according to your story, Phil, in that night, you consumed 11,800 calories and 885 grams of sugar.
Yeah, that's how it felt. I felt like I got hit by a 10,000 calorie buttered cookie. It was horrible. I've never felt like the only other time I've ever felt like puking from food was when I was like 20 years old. I went to Pilos, this Greek restaurant, and it was a buffet, and they never had a buffet. I'm like, I'm going to town. I felt sick. I ate too much chicken, and I was sick, and I felt like puking. This is the second time in my entire life. It was horrible.
Yeah, I don't know. I was a little suspicious after tabulating there and ready to call malarkey. So then I asked the computer, is this survivable? I mean, is it possible to?
Well, I'm talking to you. It is. I'm telling you
to eat this and do that. And so I asked them, what happens to a person if you ate 11,800 calories and 885 grams of sugar in chocolate chip cookie intake? And here's what they said. I'm going to quote. Consuming 11,800 calories and 885 grams of sugar in a single night is extremely excessive amount. And it's like, well, thanks for pointing out the obvious there.
You got something right.
And it would likely result in, here's the immediate effects. Let's see if these match your symptoms. Severe stomach pain and nausea due to massive sugar and fat intake.
Yeah. And lucid dreaming all night. Yeah, it was like horrible. I had like the cookie sweats.
Vomiting or diarrhea as your body struggles to manage such a high volume of food and sugar.
Accurate.
Okay. Rapid increase in blood sugar levels, potentially causing symptoms of hyperglycemia, excessive thirst, frequent urination, dizziness, blurred vision, and confusion.
I'm always like that. That's not from the cookies.
Extreme fatigue and lethargy, potentially followed by a significant sugar crash several hours later.
Yeah, I didn't leave I texted you guys in the afternoon. I'm like, I was like, I have a stomach ache. I'm really sick. Josh, you were so nice. You're like, oh, I'm really sorry to hear that. I'm like, it's not what you think. I'm like, this is self-induced. That was horrible.
And then rapid heartbeat, palpitations, and anxiety due to sudden sugar spike. Did that happen?
Nah, I
You
don't
were
get
probably
that stuff.
sleeping. That's what
I get anxious like the next person. I push
Mhm.
through. I'm used to that. That's okay. It was just feeling like crap. Yeah. And like always, my left hand was always on my like above my naughty area, you know, like my lower tummy.
I got the gist from the robots here that probably not a good idea to do this very often.
No, I don't do it often. Well, I have about 600 to 800 calories in one shot when I have chocolate night in bed.
Okay.
And yeah, I was
But
doing
not
good
like
for a couple.
12,000 though.
No, that was the coloring book store got a new shipment, and
Yeah.
I was a tester. Yeah. Success. Yeah. Let's talk about hockey cards. I don't feel good with these pictures on the screen. Yeah. It's like looking at the beer bottles when you're a
Well,
teenager.
Louis was
after
nice
the
because
night.
I originally sent him a meaner picture.
That was, well, yeah, but this took more time.
This took more time. Okay, well, why don't you recap your Friday nights with Phil? Because it was kind of a banger. You had a lot of fun.
It was fantastic. We had a great guest named Todd on, and
Mhm.
he's a storied person, great
Mhm.
human being. He had
Mhm.
a plethora of good stories to tell. He really broke down cardophilium. Not much to break down. It's just one set, but there was enough. There was enough to talk about, and he really did. So if you're looking for a miniature masterclass of the cardophilium set, check out episode I don't know what of Friday Nights with Phil. I think it's like 10, 11. I
I
don't know.
just go by the picture. It was
Yeah,
Gladiator Phil.
Gladiator Phil, Spartan Phil, Hoplite Phil.
Yeah.
Go for it. Yeah, it's Hoplite Phil.
Did you see the one that we scheduled for this week, Louis?
Yeah.
No, I didn't look yet.
Oh, you have to go look. It's everyone go look and bookmark or note of or like or whatever. It's related to our last subject. We'll just I already shared it with Phil.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And Dave hung out with us. Sylvain hung out with us. He talked about his hobby hub. Oh, he's gonna kill me for that. I'm sorry, dude. It's new. It's fresh. So go check it out. So you know the name. Let me know.
Let me know when you figure it out. Well, not only did Todd have the cardophilium set, he had what 40 of them were impersonated.
He had two full sets. And he had a large amount of them fully autographed very beautifully. And he shared a lot of stories of how each card got autographed. And it almost like, if you've ever seen the movie Slumdog Millionaire, the kid just answers all the questions because he was conveniently in the right places at the right time throughout his life. That's Todd. He's our Slumdog Millionaire. He's our card collecting millionaire. Yeah, he's got great autos on the cardophilium set.
Well, and like ridiculous, like Gordie Howe and Rocket
Bobby
Richard
Orr.
and John Bellavore,
Henri Richard. Yeah, oh man, great. Just yeah, he knows his stuff. And of course, the guy, as soon as we bring him on, he big old Leafs jersey on him. Well done, Mr. Todd. Well done.
Poking the bear.
Poking the bear. Yeah.
All right, almost ready to get going. Couple quick more updates. Hockeychecklist.com. First of all, thank you to everyone who is using our eBay links to help support the site. That's very much appreciated. All you got to do is go into any card, click on an eBay link, and then any card you buy on eBay, it doesn't cost you any more. We just get a little bit of a commission, I don't know, affiliate revenue share, and it's helping fund the development. And as we add more checklists, we have added a bunch since our last show. Like a number of them. 2022-23 Metal Universe, 90-91 Upper Deck. There's a big one for us. Nostalgia. 89 Tops with the Joe Sakic rookie. 85-86 O-Pee-Chee, Mario's rookie. 86-87 O-Pee-Chee, Patrick Uwa rookie. Uwa.
Josh, how long? I'm curious, and I'm sure people listening are curious. Take 1987. How long does that take you to enter it in? And how long does 22-23 Extended take you?
The new ones take a lot longer because so you'll have like take like Premiere. There's like 75 sets in Premiere.
Yeah.
and to organize them and get all it accurate. And for most of these, if there's a picture, I'm trying to post a photo of every set. So that's 75 photos to find, crop. Yeah, I would say like a ultra modern set takes 4 to 6 hours.
Oh God.
And now the older ones are faster because like you go back to like the 1950s set, it was just one base set that had 60 cards in it, right? And so those can go up pretty quick. And so I'm trying to intermix them and kind of
I just thought of something. My neighbor Helen, she's from Cambodia. She does data entry. She's amazing. She can talk to and have a full conversation, and her hands just going boom, boom, boom. Couldn't you hire some help? And no, it doesn't. Well, yeah, she doesn't know cards, and you're putting your.
I mean, there's
knowledge
so
into
much
it.
like sorting and error fixing, and it's not.
Okay, yeah.
But it's okay. If anyone's wondering like why they're not going up faster, that's the reason. Because very, very much taking a quality over quantity approach.
Ooh.
Right. I have all the spreadsheets, but it's about an hour and a half to 2 hours just organizing the spreadsheet and filling in the gaps, and then about 4 hours uploading everything.
How, when you uploaded the first few checklists, were you panicking or like, oh, I hope it's accurate, right? Because that's like that's the point of the thing, right? If it's not accurate.
Oh yeah, it's always terrifying to hit the.
Yeah.
But then you can just fix stuff. So I mean, hopefully people have a little bit of grace in that regard. So yeah, adding a lot. It's fun. I like it. I think we're up to almost 70.
Oh, that's great.
Maybe.
Buddy. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Putting us on the map. Use the tool. Please.
Use it, please. Yeah, and if you want to, and if you don't mind the extra step in going to the eBay link, which is in every card detail, you can buy any card on eBay within 24 hours. It really helps, and because there's a lot of development we want to do, and
it gives back.
Developers don't lift a finger without sending you a bill, So, oh yeah, got to make a mention for Gongshow partner and sponsor GP Sports Cards. We just had Grant on, I think, last week.
GP.
You want to head to gpsportscards.com to get all your break spots. He's big week with them, premiere week, of course. Wednesday breaks, Friday breaks. So I think next week will just be Wednesday and Friday because there's no hockey release. And yeah, you want to get there early. If you don't have the cash this week, or you're too late, because honestly, they sell out so dang fast, then you can go watch them at any point on YouTube on GP Sports Cards YouTube channel as well. And then Phil, did you actually kick somebody out of a chat?
No, I had to mute somebody. I had to mute somebody. They know who they are. Don't be silly on there. I feel like a little bit of a big brother to Grant sometimes. So be nice. And listen, banter is great, but give us strong opinions. That's awesome. But don't attack character. That's
so thank you to Grant and the crew at GP Sports Cards for their support of our show.
I'd like to add something to his breaks as a moderator for his breaks. Okay. When there's big releases like the Cup or Premiere, Grant will go a little crazy and he'll be like 150 spots for 150 cases or whatever the flavor of the week is. Yeah. So those are mega ones. The mega ones sell out pretty darn quick. So and Grant's good though. So if he has other regular ones, 20 spots for 20 breaks, and they sell out quick, he'll add more. Like if he's got it, he'll add more. So you don't.
He does overtime breaks too. Like if he gets through his full schedule and there's time left, he'll add more breaks as well.
I'm saying if you're 2-3 days out of a release and you're like, oh crap, I'm not even going to bother checking the website. Check the website. I'm telling you, there'll be something there for you, 100%.
Thank you for that.
Welcome.
Okay, lastly, just a reminder that our show, the Hockey Cards Gongshow podcast, is a Patreon podcast. It means we dearly rely on support of listeners and watchers like yourself to help us cover our show expenses. This dumpster fire does cost money, believe it or not. Continue to produce more and what we hope to be better hockey card content, and then fund initiatives, even in a small way, to grow the hockey hobby. Like it's in November, but what have we been talking about, boys, the last few days? It rhymes with dip and ends with party. Rip party.
Number
like
2.
That. We're already planning to bring that back in November. To support us, it's very easy. You can go to our website, hockeycardsgongshow.com, click on the Become a Patron link, go to Patreon directly, patreon.com, search for Hockey Cards Gongshow. There's a link in the show description and podcast and audio or podcast apps and YouTube, and then in our Instagram and TikTok profile as well. It starts at $5 a month. You can get access to our Discord. We have a scavenger hunt beginning April 17th through the end of the season. We do fantasy hockey and 5K challenge, lots of fun stuff there. And it's just a great community where a lot of the best part is tons and tons of friendships have been made. And so we hope to see you there soon. Baba Louie, are you ready with the game plan?
Very ready with the game plan. So today, get to know your Hall of Famers. Then we are off to Who's Hot and the Struggle Bus. Then we get into some hobby news. And this is the wrong one. So hold on a minute. I was just kidding. We'll just leave that.
We're just going to talk about stuff on the show.
Yeah, we're just going to talk about stuff on the show. But no, okay. We'll do it this way.
Phil,
so it's hobby news. Then it's the Hartford Whalers Hobby Mount Rushmore.
Ooh.
Then we get into new product releases, and we have a little chit-chat with Johnny Amendola. And then we'll jump into the Gongshow Mail Bag and personal pickups.
Phil, what do you think of the game plan? Anything you want to add?
Wayne Gretzky on steroids?
Really? Phil.
You didn't get the movie reference and you clipped it.
Phil, that's a big accusation. I don't know if I'm ready to go. What did he say?
Wayne Gretzky on steroids?
Wow. Okay. Well, no, I think maybe we'll bring some evidence. We'll talk about that next week. Okay.
Hard to argue. Oh my God. I need to
suck it, Trebek.
Yeah, that one's fine. That one's fine. That's pure respect. I'm honoring a legend from my hometown. The right people know what that means. The other ones are imposters.
No. All right, get to know your Hall of Famers. We're going to continue our series where we're looking at the lifetimes, career, and hobby market for every single Hockey Hall of Fame player. We start with the very, very first Hall of Fame class in 1945, end of World War II, right? And been working our way to present day. We're still in the 1958 class, which I believe is the second largest Hall of Fame class, only to 1963. Including today's player, we have 6 left. And most of these guys are still the pioneers of the game, right? We're still every guy early 1900s, sort of very beginning.
Can we pass forward at this point? Yeah. Right? You couldn't pass forwardly in hockey for many years.
Yeah, you could, in the NHL. Okay, so today's Hall of Famer we're going to learn more about is Frank Fredrickson. Louis, big Frankie Fredrickson fan or no?
Always.
Look at that look.
This guy's had huge jaws. Big jaws on these men.
Okay, here we go. So Sigurdur Franklin Fredrickson.
I'm sorry, what?
Weaver?
I think I'd go with Frank too if my first name was Sigurdur. Well, Sigurdur was born in 1895 in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Lived until 1979. He was a center, a decently big guy for his time, 5'11", 180 pounds, and over a hockey career that spanned from 1913 until 1932, Frank played for a number of teams in various leagues, including the Victoria Cougars and Aristocrats in the PCHA, the Detroit Falcons, Detroit Cougars, Pittsburgh Pirates, and Boston Bruins, all in the NHL. And it's like 3 of those teams a year ago I wouldn't even believe were NHL teams, right? The Falcons, Cougars, and Pirates.
Victoria, the Cougars sounds great.
Yeah, I know. I know where your head's at. So when we're looking at our boy Sigurdur, aka Frank's career highlights, he captained the Winnipeg Falcons to Canada's first ever Olympic hockey gold medal in the 1920 Antwerp Olympics. So do you guys know how that worked, like back in the day with the Olympic teams? In that it would basically, you would have like a local team and you would play in a tournament, and then whatever team won, like in Canada, would represent the country at the Olympics. So it wasn't like an all-star team of the best players for all across the country. It was the best amateur team.
It's like my old baseball tournaments. That's how they did it.
Just like that, actually.
Yeah.
Almost exactly. You're right.
Nailed it.
Sigurdur helped establish the NHL as an elite center with exceptional skating ability and scoring prowess. So he was kind of early NHL guy. Played both in the PCHA and NHL, demonstrating versatility and elite performance across leagues. And he won the Stanley Cup with the Victoria Cougars, Phil.
Yeah.
PCHA in 1925. Why should you care about Frank Fredrickson? Well, he isn't just another hockey name from the past. It's a story packed with remarkable achievements and fascinating anecdotes that make him a true legend. I love how, like, when cameras were invented, people basically had no idea how to pose for a camera.
They never smiled. That's one thing I've noticed. They never smiled. I think they probably thought it would be weird, right? Like, what are you smiling at? Like,
I also
I
love
want,
the Breezer short shorts there, man. Those are,
yeah, not bad.
yeah,
Those are my yoga shorts he's wearing. Mm.
I'm kidding. So he's an Olympic trailblazer. Fredrickson captained the Winnipeg Falcons, an amateur club primarily composed of Icelandic Canadians, Phil, to gold in hockey's Olympic debut. Their underdog victory captivated fans across Canada, and their gold medal remains a defining moment in Canadian sports history. He was a two-league champion. His versatility was rare. He excelled in multiple leagues, among the few players to achieve elite status in both the PCHA and the NHL, underscoring his adaptability and exceptional skill. He had Stanley Cup heroics in 1925. Sigurder led the Victoria Cougars to a memorial Stanley Cup victory, or memorable Stanley Cup victory, the last cup won by a non-NHL team, solidifying his unique legacy. He was known for his skating speed and creative offensive strategies. Fredrickson was ahead of his time, influencing the modern style of play with his dynamic approach to the game. He also had a pretty memorable personality. So beyond his on-ice success, Fredrickson was admired by teammates and fans alike for his charismatic leadership, sportsmanship, qualities that earned him respect through hockey circles. So yeah, he left a pretty lasting legacy on the game of hockey.
Sounds like a pretty good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have a beer with?
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Frederick.
What a guy.
Sigurder. Sigurder will be picking up the bill, please.
Yeah. Very distinguished. Yeah.
Let's look at the Frank Fredrickson hobby market. So, in my extensive research in this that I normally screw up, I could only find 2 playing days cards for Fredrickson. His rookie card appears to be this 1924-25 Holland Creamery.
Oh, if cards could talk.
Yeah.
That was in somebody's pocket for many years.
No kidding. I
Wallet.
have not ever seen this set before, learning about Frank. So, must be pretty rare, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
The highest selling copy is just an SGC Authentic that sold for $450 US in January 2024. The other Playing Days card for Fredrickson is a 1926-27 anonymous issue. And I
Is this
actually couldn't
it?
find any sales of this card.
Looks like a newspaper clipping.
This what you wanted?
Kind of does. Yeah,
Okay.
that's it. So there's no sales. I found this photo on TCDV or something like that. Topps did include Fredrickson in their 1960 all-time greats insert set. Now, the highest selling copy here, he was always hunched over like that.
I thought you said he had 2 cards. Now you're showing a 3rd card.
I said 2 Playing Days cards.
No. Hmm.
It was like 1800 something. This is 19. He's not Gordie Howe. This is 1960.
I'm just keeping you honest. That's all I'm saying.
Pretty honest. So, PSA 7.5 sold for $64 US in December 2021. So not a lot of hobby love.
Yeah, I thought he left a lasting impression. They just don't want to use their wallets, eh? Some friends you are, Frank.
Well, you guys care so much about the Olympics, and he won your first gold medal. So why don't you care about good old Sigurder?
I don't know. I don't like things I can't pronounce well. So,
all right, that's your Hockey Hall of Famer, Frank Fredrickson.
It's a good thing cookies is an easy word for you.
Oh my God. Ooh. Beating the horse that's been dead. Anyways, do you guys notice something? Do you guys notice something peculiar about all these players since we started this entire segment geographically? I'll give you a few seconds to think about it.
No,
they're
lost.
No,
they're either from Ottawa or Manitoba.
No, that they're from my country and not yours.
They're from Canada. A lot are from Ottawa, and they all seem to go die in Toronto.
Yeah, well, that's also accurate.
Gonna die in Toronto.
So from my country to yours, you're welcome. You're welcome for being the founders of this beautiful game of ours.
Thank you. I love it.
Welcome. Yeah, Louis got good emotional intelligence here. Josh, not so much. F-.
I'm bitter.
Typical American. Can't do it.
Can't acknowledge you. Okay, who's on the struggle bus? It's time for our weekly check-in in the 24-25 NHL season. See what players in the past week or two are crushing it, and then which players are struggling. We've each picked a player to profile on who's hot, and then each chosen a player to ride on the struggle bus. We had a meeting yesterday between me, Louie, and Phil's therapist.
Oh, man.
We talked about many things. Some were cookie related. The therapist, what was her name, Louie, again? Oh, Cinnamon.
Mm-hmm.
She recommended we use a combination of ego diffusion technique
Oh,
and reflective
please.
humility training
Oh,
for the benefits
please.
of Phil's mental and spiritual development.
Ego diffusion. Get over yourself.
And that as a result, Phil should go last. And we agreed, Louis immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And who are we to go against the advice of the good doctor, Dr. Cinnamon?
Do you know what's funny? My last name, Kanalakos, in Greek, which I have tattooed on my arm, that means cinnamon.
Why would you tattoo your name on your arm? You're worried you're going to forget about it?
In case I forget. Well, I had a lot of crazy nights, and sometimes I
Okay.
get woken up with big lights in my face. They'd be like, "Who is this guy?" I'm like, "Right."
So to implement our ego diffusion and reflective humility training, you're going to go last, Phil. There we go. Starting off, who's hot this week? Player we've never profiled here, Dylan Holloway. Over the past 3 weeks, the 23-year-old Blues, or 2 weeks, the 23-year-old Blues forward has 3 goals, 7 assists for 10 points in 6 games played. Lands on the Gongshow's Who's Hot list. It's Holloway's first season in St. Louis after spending his first couple of years in Edmonton. In 71 games played so far this year, he's up to 23 goals, 34 assists, and 57 points. Pretty big jump. He scored 9 points each in his first 2 seasons in Edmonton. So to go up to 57 is nice progress, I would think. Maybe as a change of scenery, done some wonders for Holloway. Not only has his ice time gone up from 11 minutes and 22 seconds last season to almost 17 minutes this year, he's in a solid top 6 role with the Blues as of late, playing in the second line with Braden Shen and Jordan Kyrou, and also getting some time on the power play units as well. And he's managed to stay healthy, which was a little bit of an issue, I think, in Edmonton. So it looks like a little bit of a breakout season for the young Holloway in 24-25. And he is a 2022-23 Young Guns PSA 10 pop 123, 25% gem rate, last sold for $38 on February 21st. This is one, and Louis, you're the one that kind of always runs into this. It's been bouncing all over the place since the first year, from like the mid $30 to the mid 50s, and yeah, just get it in the 30s or 40s, you're good.
Somewhere in there.
Remember, didn't Sylvain buy a big lot of this guy? He was having good playoffs, last year?
I don't remember.
Yeah, Oilers. Yeah, he had a good playoff. Sylvain took a big big swing, and he hit a good home run.
Nice. Good for him.
Yeah.
I didn't notice this, Louis. You're sticking with the Blues, eh?
Oh, yeah, well, let's keep singing the Blues. It hurts to say that, but hey, got to give credit where credit's due, right?
What's wrong with St. Louis? What, they hurt you?
Yeah, just not, kind of the blue team for you.
Oh, they're a Minnesota rival?
No,
yeah.
Not as huge, but yeah, and I just can't stand them. Anyway, Jordan Kyrou. So recently hitting the 400 NHL games played mark. He, from what I see, is maybe finding his mojo. He's leading the Blues. He's helped the Blues to 4 straight wins while leading the league in points. In the last week, Kyrou has 3 multi-point games. He scored his 5th NHL career hat trick, recorded his 25th career multi-goal game. He led the league with 5 even strength goals and led the league with 7 even strength points. So in his last 5 games, he has 5 goals, 5 assists for 10 points. On the season now, he sits at 29 goals, 31 assists for 60 points. So between Kyrou and Mr. Holloway, not a bad week or 2 for Blues.
Nope.
Kyrou is an 2018 Young Gun with a PSA 10 pop, of 523 and a 64% gem rate. At the beginning of the month, this was a $27 to $33 card all day, but has now seen an uptick and is going in the $40 to $50 range. Last sale was March 21st for $42.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get rid of your Blues. Kick rocks, St. Louis, and let's go Colorado. I don't like either team. My pick was Louis. Great photograph selections this week. That's awesome.
That's the best I could do for you. Sorry.
No,
Is that
fantastic.
the new? Is that a new alternative?
Yeah, it's a new
alternate uniform for
the 8th jersey. So
beautiful.
I know there was a picture floating around on social media of poor Brock Nelson here when he looked 55 years old. But let me tell you, this grandpa, he's showing up and he's showing he's still got the hot mustard. So Nelson scored a goal and added an assist in a 4-3 win over Winnipeg when it was his final game with the Islanders before being traded. It was an emotional night for him, but he had a strong finish with the only team he's known for 12 years. And I love that. I love that loyalty bug.
Mm-hmm.
So then he gets traded. And
Can I ask you a question?
Okay.
Did in any of your research, did he want to leave or not?
No.
Yeah?
Oh,
I didn't. I don't know if I had to guess.
Okay.
I don't think so. But
Okay.
maybe for the team to do better, sure, trade me. One of those things.
sure.
I think he's loyal to the Islanders. But when he did get traded, Louis, in his first game with Colorado against San Jose, Nelson notched an assist just 6 minutes into the game. And that helped him give a solid contribution to a 7-3 victory. Hit the line he was on, scored twice, showing good early chemistry with his new team. So Nelson's transition to Colorado started quietly offensively, but he's begun to heat up for sure, showing that he's still got that scoring touch. He's got 5 points in his last 5 games, guys, showing a solid contribution to his new team, fitting in nicely with Nietzsche's, not too bad, and he's also a newcomer as well. So, things are okay in Colorado, and I'm happy for Brock. I'm very happy to see things are fitting in and helping Makar's amazing team get more amazing. Yeah, screw you, Avalanche. So
Do you know who he scored his first goal against?
I do not.
Oh, it would be the Ottawa Senators.
Oh, I should probably know that, eh? Oh, got me. Good info, Louis. Thank you. So Brock Nelson is a 2013 young gun, and he has a cute little butt. What? Who wrote that in there?
Phil.
I did not write that in there. I mean, he may or he may not. I'm not interested.
No.
Oh, and has I don't know what that is. He has a PSA 10 pop count of 73%. Wow, that's pretty good. And the last one sold for $52 on March 15th. It's down.
You all flustered because
Get your dollars.
Well, I don't. So there's collusion here. It's down 1% in the past month, and it's down 36% in the past 3 months. I like Islander cards. Yeah.
You're attracted to Brock Nelson's backside. Or what?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't. He might be the first in my life. You never know. I'm not ruling it out.
Okay.
But yeah, that's my pick for this week. Good for you, Brock. And it'll be interesting to see what Colorado does.
He also had a $45 sale on the same day as
thank you, Louis.
Just so people don't look at my screen and go, God, Louis can't get anything right.
No, they're not looking at the scrany.
No.
They're doing something when they listen to
Most of them are listening.
Else. The guy's changing his oil. Another guy's eating dinner and watching TV. They're
right.
How many guys do you think are like going to the bathroom when they're listening to our show?
I do. That's when I buy my cards. On the toilet.
After you go to hockeychecklist.com over to eBay, right?
Well, speaking of the toilet, the struggle bus pulling right up, and we go from one Brock to another. This one's sad. I didn't want to do this, but I felt like I had to because I have to put my boy Brock Faber.
You went anti-Homer.
Well, just listen, and you guys tell me if I'm being too harsh. Maybe I am.
You are.
In the last 7 games, Faber has 0 points, and in the last 25 games, he has 4 points. Is that good?
Yeah, trade him. Trade him.
We're gonna call him baby. No, he's probably never gonna put points like Makar, Quinn Hughes. We know that, but come on, we need more than 4 points in 25 games. That's not good. And I wish I could provide better insight, but Louis and I have talked about this. I can't watch my team without Kaprizov. I try, and I just can't do it. And I know it makes me a bad fan. I'm a terrible person.
You probably should keep that inside the thoughts. I wouldn't say that out
I
loud.
tried like 6 times to watch them, and I'm like, I
Oh,
just
that's
can't do this.
brutal. So
It's
okay.
it just makes me I don't know. So I
Well,
so
that
you
means you
think I'm
guys
being
suck really bad. That's a terrible thing to say. You should switch teams.
No, it's not even that we suck. It's that we are, and I firmly believe this. We are in the worst spot you can be in professional sports.
Minnesota.
We're very messed.
Well, what are you talking about? Isn't that what you're implying? No.
No, we're mediocre.
Oh.
You never want to. You want to either be horrible or good, right? Because
Yeah.
if you're horrible, you're going to get the top pick in the draft, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. You guys started well.
And he's not playing bad defensively. There's nothing. But so, Louis, you think I'm being unfair? What's your assessment?
Yeah,
of Brock Faber?
that's where I'm going to jump you. You can't put him on the struggle bus and then say, I'm sure his defensive metrics are solid. Dude, the kid's minutes are probably killing him. Since like I took a couple stats down after I saw you were going to ask me.
Oh, okay.
Since the Four Nations, the kid's ice time has it's gone up to over 27 minutes a game, which is the second most for a player in the league. You know, for the entire season, he's 5th in the NHL with an average of 25 minutes per game, and 3rd among players who have played 62 games or more. Now you got to
shouldn't he have more than 4 points?
I don't care. No, I don't care. He's got other responsibilities.
At least 5. At least
with
5.
all the D done. Yeah, well done.
D done.
With all our D, with D getting hurt, he's extra shifts, quarterback in the power play. He leads the penalty kill. He played almost 30 minutes of ice at 30 minutes of ice against the Rangers last week. And that was 5 minutes more than any teammate.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
I don't think just being out on the ice has to translate into points if you look.
Is this another structure argument? Are we going to go through that again?
Just be careful.
No.
We burnt my old coach, DJ Smith, burnt out Thomas Chabot pretty hard. Chabot's having a great year this year finally, but you burn these guys out at a young age. It's not good. We did that with Curtis Lazar too. I mean, he was a forward, but yeah. And
I think we even lost that Rangers game when he was out there for 30 minutes. I think
that's too much.
I think he got blown past on the final goal for the game there. But
yeah, it's too much, man.
You
anything 24, 25 plus consistently, let alone almost 30. Like, what are you doing? It's half the hockey game, brother. That's insane.
All right.
So, I don't know. That's my take, but yeah, 4 points.
I appreciate your opinion.
Yeah.
Okay. Brock Faber's a 2023 Young Guns PSA 10 pop 605, 29% gem rate. Last sold for 111 US, still strong. Hobby market sales on March 14th, up about 17% in the past month. So maybe people agree with Louis and not me. Wouldn't be the first time.
Nice hockey card.
Louis.
It is a nice card. Yes, sir.
Who did you put on the struggle bus?
I had to put Mikola.
Oh, you're a meanie. Give the guy a little bit.
I will. I'll give him a little bit, but here's the deal. So, there could be a couple things. Avalanche traded him to Carolina. He didn't want to go January 24th. Then the Hurricanes flipped him to Dallas before the trade deadline. So 2 trades in 6 weeks. The Stars gave the dude an 8-year, $96 million contract. So $12 million a year. I thought I was looking at, I can't remember the name of it exactly. NHL, one of them fancy NHL sites I look at for certain stats, and I saw that he excels in many categories on there, including the leader in the offensive time percentage. He leads in mid-range shots on goal, and he leads on goals from that range. He leads in game skating distance. Now, with Dallas, he's on the top line and even on the top power play unit. But over his last 2 weeks, he's put up 2 points, and one of them was just in the last week. I don't know if it's trade effect. Am I bragging on him too much too soon after what he's gone through? Is it a mental thing? I have no idea. But with his stats over the season, I wouldn't have expected him to be that bad. In 69 games played, he's got 29 goals, 45 assists for 74 points. So I'd like to see him get, back into his ways with the Stars. Just for the simple fact that he was buried on Colorado, and I want to see his hobby market get to where I think it should be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think he can do that on Dallas. J-Rob's been struggling, and half of the rest of the team lately, it seems like. So I think it's a good fit for him. I just think I wish he'd come out of the gate hot. If that makes any sense.
Better than lukewarm.
Lukewarm.
Do you like his butt too?
Well, his little butt. Anyways, he's a 2015 young gun with a PSA 10 pop of 1,214 and a gem rate of 53%. The card has been on the upswing at the rate of 6% over the last month, so maybe he's gaining some traction here finally. And the last sale just a few days ago for $85 US.
Oh, I hate this Young Guns.
Yeah,
I like Nico Rantanen, but I hate this card.
That's a bad card.
Bad
picture too.
Yeah, it's a terrible picture.
All right. My pick for the toilet of the week would be Adam Fantilli. Oh, great picture. Looks so confused.
What?
So let's
I'm
pick
sorry,
on a kid.
what?
Let's pick on a kid here. Here we go. So in his last 5 games, he's had no points, 0.
Ooh.
I think Columbus is looking for a little bit more of an offensive output from their first line center. I don't care if he's 20 or not. I know it's easy to pick on a 20-year-old kid. He's got that Tavares 5 o'clock shadow thing going on. But anyways, oh yeah, I forgot. He's also a -5 in those games. So I'm really just burying him. Columbus is sucking really bad as well. They've only won 2 out of their last 10 games. So the wheels, I'm very grateful, by the way, as a Sens fan. The wheels are slowly falling apart there. I'm sorry, Columbus John. CBJ John there. I apologize. Friend of the show.
Yep.
Yeah, High Gloss John, sorry. But the wheels are not staying on very well. Yes, I said as a Sens fan, burn, baby, burn. It's nothing personal. But I need to solidify that wild card for my team, not yours. So I did a quick consensus of some key takeaways from the professional experts for Fantilli. And the general consensus seems to be he's getting out-muscled on a lot of one-on-one battles. And for a kid who's 6'2", he needs to maybe fill in a bit more, finish the puberty. I'm sure he's at the tail end of it, if not done. But being the 3rd overall pick doesn't really help you if hard work is beating talent. So if he doesn't want the puck bad enough, he's not getting it. So that's not good. Trust me, I know. I'm a Sens fan. I had a coach who told his players just to try harder and it's okay. And that doesn't work. That doesn't work. You got to find it in your inner goo and go get it and bare your teeth. Come on, Adam. You can do it. Use that talent and hard work and good things will happen, brother. Zach Werenski's leading that team and he's a defenseman. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
So, he's a 2023 young gun with a PSA 10 pop count of 1,199. If you register yours, you might be the 1,200th one. So wow. gem rate of 53%. And the last sale was on the 23rd of this month for 75 bald eagle dollars.
All right. So who's hot this past week? We had Dylan Holloway, Jordan Kyrou, and Brock Nelson. And then riding the struggle bus is Brock Faber, very controversially, but Brock Faber, Mikko Rantanen, and Phil hates all the Columbus Blue Jackets and hates Adam Fantilli.
I love Adam Fantilli. I know he can do better. Come on.
Doesn't sound like it though.
All right.
All right, Slab Sharks, Gongshow partner sponsor, grateful for their support of our show. The current Slab Sharks weekly eBay auction is live, ends this upcoming Thursday night. It's another massive auction. Holy moly, 5,600 cards. That's crazy. So many hockey bangers too. The 3 of us each spent some time this weekend to go through the auction and pick out a couple of the cards that stood out to us. So here's our favorite picks from this week's Slab Sharks auction. Well, mine's not a card. It's a pack. My first one. Pack. 1979 O-Pee-Chee Wax Pack. PSA 9. I have no clue what this is worth. I think it's super cool, though. Yeah, any desire to own a 1979 pack?
It's probably
Sure.
CT scanned. Why would you buy this?
I don't think they can scan these.
Yeah, probably scanned it anyways.
I tell you what, though, here's what I would do.
Open it.
No, well, no,
Oh my god.
no. I would completely skip this one because I think pack grading has got to be the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it's like comic book grading.
It's dumb. But there's another one in Slab Sharks that's
Really?
not graded.
Oh.
Yeah.
The only thing that scares me about these little wax packs and why I would want to grade it is I think they authenticate that it hasn't been opened. Because with wax packs,
Okay.
right? Like with the foil, the new packs, you can't.
It's getting
Open
listen.
them
What this
and
is getting
unopen
silly.
them.
What some really round 65-year-old man is gonna science the gum adhesive and tell me like I mean I don't know if I'm being ignorant. Let me know. But this is getting silly. Like
Oh, I mean, this has got to be worth more than $1,000, wouldn't you say?
yeah, I don't know. I'm just how do you
Maybe not.
grade a pack? Like where's the pack standards? I mean, like well, there's only 13 creases in the top left corner. This is a beauty. Like
It's a
if you
beaut,
need-
Clark.
Listen, if you need any more reasons to think that some people in our hobby take things so crazy seriously, and I'm sorry if you collect graded packs, that bless your heart. I just there's something for everybody, and I'm finding a lot of things that a lot of men take super serious funny, and grading hockey card packs is one of them.
Okay.
I don't know.
I like it, but
I like it too. You don't think it's silly? You don't think it's a little bit silly?
You're just like guns a-blazing today. First of all, you hate Adam Fantilli.
Oh
You
my
think-
god. Wayne Gretzky on steroids?
Bill, I'll go with battle.
And now you can't stand O-Pee-Chee hockey.
I just said I find it funny. It's not like I don't know. I'm obviously ignorant a bit too because it's not my thing, so I'm gonna laugh at it. That
Okay.
I'm human.
That's fine.
People laugh at me all the time. I like it.
Keep your Mint 9 PSA pack. I'm gonna buy the other one that's $1,000 less, and I don't have a
that's good
Gretzky.
reason.
So big deal.
You're gonna open it.
And it'll be off center.
Then I did pick a card, a 2024 Upper Deck Series 2 Kirill Kaprizov. Gold Outburst 101. I love this card. Obviously,
That's
I love
cool.
the
It
reverse
looks good.
retro. It looks awesome in the Gold Outburst. What I don't love is how expensive these are and that I could never afford this. But I mean, what do you think this goes for? $2,000?
More than what you're willing to pay, that's for sure.
Well, thank you.
You're
for
welcome.
that, yeah.
Well, yeah, it's got 4 days to go, and it's at 13 Canadian. So
1,300? Really?
Yeah. All these gold outbursts are, and people are collecting them, so it gets crazy competitive. I am so glad I'm not totally juiced up by 101 collecting, where you have to like instantly go in and mega bid and convince someone to sell you the card.
It robs a bit of your soul when you see them at card shows. These 101 collectors, they're a little dead in the eyes, you know, like they had the love of life at one point, but now that they're dead inside. They're dead inside. They're glossed over. They've lost it.
Louis, what do you pick?
Oh, my first pick, 2019 out of SP Authentic, a Young Guns Acetate Kale McCarr PSA 9.
What a card.
Beautiful card. I love because
You guys like the die cut sort of nature of it, even though it's more like a essential credentials, right? Where it's like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. Very nice. I love when these pop up, man, because we don't get to see them. Like there's what 20 of these, 25. We don't know. There's not more than 25. No way.
Right. And that die cut thing, I don't know. It's kind of cool, but since I have an acetate card now, they're so cool that anytime I see them, I'm just like, I'm like pointing out to somebody, if you want one, dang Skippy, go get it. But
and make sure if your favorite player collect is of the year, some came in SP Authentic, some and most come in extended now, but just make sure you know which.
I think since 2022 or something like that, they're in extended.
Yeah, double check.
Are you still like insta buying any Brady Chuck?
Yes, insta buying. I'm at 14. I got to recount. I'm struggling at home with my cards. So ask me tomorrow.
Okay. What else, Lee?
Number 2, honestly, had nothing to do with last show because as I go through this thing, I'm just looking for cards that stand out.
Yeah.
Didn't even know who it was by the picture because I didn't recognize his face, but it's a 2013 Panini Prism rookie update, Nikita Kucherov, in a PSA 10 slab. It's just a sick looking card, and I wish there was more cards that looked like this today. Simple as that, why I picked it.
Great looking card. I agree. Philip,
Hello.
what cards did you pick?
My picks for this evening will go as follows.
Straight away, please. Straight away.
Okay, yeah. 2024 Jet Lachenko Young Gun High Gloss. So I'll keep it simple. I don't know much about him. Our good friend of the show, Neil, flying Irish guy, seems to be huge on
Do you
him.
know anybody? Do you think you could tell me what my name is? Have you learned my name?
Yes,
Or-
Josh Madigan.
Oh,
And
thank you.
Louis actually is not his real name, and that's all I'll say.
He doesn't know his name.
I won't
Okay,
say
no,
it on
stop,
the
stop.
air, but
What's Louis' last name?
Lewis.
Wow.
Yeah, not
What's his
bad.
first
Eh?
name?
I don't think he wants me to say it. You don't care?
I don't give a shit.
Ryan Louis Lewis.
Oh, you're good.
Wow. I mean,
You pay
Louis, I was
attention.
not
I love my
hopeful that he
friend.
was
I
gonna
didn't know if he would or not. So.
I love my friends. Yeah, man, for
No,
sure.
but in fairness, though, Louis, you have a
Well-
nickname that's pretty ubiquitous. Like everyone just calls you Louis
Right.
or Baba Louis
Sure.
or Bobo Bubai.
Whatever.
Or,
The only reason he knows my name is because of
he ships stuff.
he has
to
to
you.
ship me cards.
No more questions. All right, so I picked Jet Lachenko because Neil.
Because who? Neil? Who?
Neil is very high on him, and I like high gloss. That's I don't need many more reasons.
I think there's more reasons to this.
Yeah.
You are setting up Expo Mom so that he will do your laundry, your sheets when
yeah, leverage. I'm not paying thousands of dollars to leverage my friend. I know that would be smart, but I'm not doing that. No.
Okay.
All right, next card, please.
At least Neil
So
would
I
know
don't-
me pay.
I
Oh,
don't
sorry.
often or ever pick a Maple Leaf card, but I did today because I really like Wendell Clark. So I picked a 2019 SP Authentic Sign of the Times, and it's draft inscribed. He was a first overall pick. A lot of people don't know that, so that's good. And yeah, big fan, Wendell Clark, and he's going to Johnny's shop for National Hockey Card Day, and I don't know, he's been on my mind. He's a great guy, great hockey player, played hard nose stick puck. And he's one of the few blue team guys I respect and admire.
All right.
Yeah.
Good.
The reason why it seems most of Canada is using Slab Sharks to help sell their cards on eBay is they make your life easy by basically doing all the work. All you got to do is send in your cards via their simple to use portal system, submit them at one of the many trade shows they're at, or drop them off with your local Savan in places that may or may not exist. Jeremy Lee too, I guess is one, right?
Mhm.
Then they take it from there, and your cards get included in one of the biggest hockey card auctions there is that attracts lots and lots of collectors. So for complete consignment info, including payout rates, and to get the process started today, head to slabsharks.com.
Hobby news.
Hobby news.
Oh, wow. Butthurt Phil.
No.
Okay, I want to do this story in a way that
Good
isn't
luck.
petty on our end.
I don't know how you're gonna say this. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
And because I really want to understand. I don't want to, it's like kicking a puppy at this point.
Just go for it, man. Just give her here.
Okay, so there's a Beckett showcase in Toronto during the Expo, if you haven't heard. And they've been promoting it like on Instagram and stuff like that. So it's at a casino in Toronto, the Great Canadian Casino.
Bring the kids, bring the family.
Last 2 days, April 24th and 25th, smack right at the exact same time of the Expo, which is kind of strange. It's like, are you taking people away from the Expo, or are you? But
Adding
their
on.
packages, I don't know. So there's two packages, black and gold. Both packages include on-site grading. So if you want on-site grading, you have to go to this casino and not the Expo. Okay. You get dinner at a fancy restaurant. You get to go see Metallica. Now, based on Louis taking me to Metallica for free, once you see the pricing, I got a heck of a deal. Because,
So did I.
yeah, the show is awesome. What else? Oh, there's a poker tournament that you get to play in, but there's no money. Like it's for fun, and call me
Tournament,
crazy,
yeah,
but
tournament.
yeah, okay. So, but then you get to the costs, and this is where it, yeah. So there's a 2 packages, black and gold. Black package is $8,000.
I'm sorry, what?
Oh yeah, yeah, $8,000. And then there's a cheaper package that's very affordable, $6,000. Now, here's the thing: they're not super great at explaining all this. Now, they use words, of course, but not like they could be like more words and more clarity on the situation. So it says you get like the equivalent of on-site grading. So I don't know if like all this like extra stuff is sort of built into the margin of 8,000, but who has an $8,000 Beckett grading bill? How many cards you got to grade to spend $8,000?
A Beckett loyalist.
Oh, no kidding. The biggest difference between the $8,000 package and the $6,000 package is you get a 1-to-1 consultation with a grader. So basically you're paying $2,000 to sit down with a. Again, I'm coming at a point of naivete and maybe not understanding the value here. So I'm not trying to be judgmental. I don't even know what I would talk to a grader about.
Oh, I'd have questions. You go to the concert, I'll go talk to the grader, and I'll pull out my scroll.
Grader leaves crying.
Yeah, damn straight. Yeah.
No, but what do? Do you like bring them like your card? Like I don't know if you've ever seen this card I have, Phil.
Oh, get out
This
of
one right
here,
here.
man.
Do you bring them your card and you say, "Can you tell me about the back upper right corner?" I mean, is that well? What, I honestly don't know. What do you do?
You don't do it. You keep your $8,000 and you go to the expo and have fun. Sorry,
You
I
get
don't know.
expo
I have
tickets.
not said
So
that.
it's not like they're anti-expo. You do get expo tickets, but here's like so good on them for doing something. I don't know. Have they done this before? Is this the first time you've heard of this, Phil or Louis, or do we know?
No,
Maybe?
I feel like I do know something Beckett did in the mid 2000 teens or the 10s. Are we in the 20s now? I don't know. In the flapper era. I feel like they have done things years and years ago. I'm not, my memory's not good enough to know. I feel like they have been out there. I just find this very, go to the website. I implore the user to go to the
There's
website.
no information.
It's very elusive, and we're just kind of guessing and having fun with the bit because we don't understand what if it was like, what if it was like 3 or 4 days before the expo and you made a week of it? I kind of get that, but then the Metallica concert wouldn't fall on that day, so that wouldn't work. Like, I don't know. It's funny to laugh at until we know more information.
Yes,
Can I put my? Go ahead, Louis.
I don't want to make it seem like it's a decent deal, but like the gold, $90 a card for grading. To some people, that all they do is send cards in. That's only like 67 cards, and it's covered.
So what if you're a big Metallica fan and you have 50 cards to grade, you love Beckett, that's something you would do, I guess, right? But wouldn't Beckett know? I don't know. Yeah, okay, maybe. Sure.
Regardless of like how much money,
yeah,
or like how much is being subsidized by tickets, it's a lot of work to put on something like this and a tremendous amount of effort, right? If I'm advising Beckett, I think that they need to build goodwill back with collectors and give people a reason to try them again. So I think what I would probably do is try to organize some sort of special program to give our grading a shot and spend my energy that way instead of whining and dining and catering to your, because I mean this is what it would, I think you already said it, Phil, is going to appeal most to the most diehard fans. We've already won with those people, unless you're terrified of losing them. I don't know, but it's like they need the three of us to want to at least consider, right? There's in marketing, there's consideration before purchase, to consider using Beckett. And I don't think any of us would consider it at this point. And not that that's permanent, right? I mean, they could make a whole bunch of awesome changes and say to the point where I'd be like, yeah, I'd give them a shot, maybe. But
like Listen, man, I'll say it. They're the hobby punching bag right now. Like you do laughable things. I'm gonna laugh at them. This is so I'm only laughing at this because the information is so vague.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
it's hard to even understand what
yeah,
they're
this could be awesome. We could totally be eating our words, but I'm very
Mhm.
confident in laughing at this because it's vague. So
Mhm.
until it's not and it sounds really awesome, yeah, I'm gonna mock
Right.
you.
So I just want the gold package. So I bring 67 of my
Louis likes it.
cards,
Yeah.
and you tell me that I'll give you 67 cards, and you're going to give me 2 nights in a hotel, Metallica tickets, fine dining, and then I get to go play poker.
I talk to the
That-
grader. I grab him by the ear, say, "Look at my Patrick Waugh. You tell me right now what's wrong with it."
Well, but here's the thing about that though, Louis, is that yes, you have a good premise, but you're
But
kind of
that's how I'm
guessing.
reading it.
Yeah, you see, but the fact that that they're asking people to spend either $8,000 or
Mhm.
$6,000, and we're interpreting it in all different ways is not a great
No, it's
situation,
not.
right? Because if you're gonna want me to spend $8,000, I should probably know exactly what I'm buying.
Right.
Yeah, like, do they provide a date for the evening? Then I'm listening. You know?
No, they don't. I mean, it's just
Oh, that's silly.
yeah. And maybe it's part of their registration process. I don't know, but I just thought I'd bring it up, and it's again kind of head scratching stuff.
Mhm.
But I don't know. Maybe somebody will chime in and tell us why we're totally missing the boat here,
They
and that
could
would
have
be yeah.
they could have missed a graphic that would change everything, like dealers only, or like, oh, we forgot to put that, or something's gotta happen, and this will all make sense eventually. I'm confident. I'm confident they'll do that.
Okay.
Hmm.
Uh, Louis, you've got
Yeah.
some. I don't even know if I want to listen to this. I might just turn off my volume because I'm scared for this
No,
Homer
report.
segment. Homer segment.
you'll be all right. You'll be all right. So Kaprizov injury situation.
No
Um,
bueno.
well, so this is how we started. Kaprizov gets injured last year, and I think he came back for a couple games, and then we shut him down again, and he decided that we were going to have surgery, and everybody was in the dark. So
Yeah.
we remain without our best player. Kaprizov will be out longer than anticipated for the Wild because of a lower body injury, Bill Guerin said. The forward had surgery late in January because of that injury and was expected to be out a minimum of 4 weeks. Then it was said, I think he's going to be out longer than we originally expected. How much? I cannot answer. Guerin said, I just don't know. We'll have to see how he progresses, and that's really where we're at. So
And
right
this was
now,
like a month ago.
yes.
That yeah. Okay.
This is actually still back. This is back, yes, back in February. So he's just recovering right now, and we'll see how it turns out. But he's going to be a little longer than we expected. And that's all we've heard. It died there and then he went on to say, and what that does with our cap situation, if they were going to play that game, he said, I don't know, because when he's healthy, we'll want to put him back in. And if he's not, we won't. So then all of a sudden, with no information for, a few weeks to come, all of a sudden, Kaprizov's going to be skating soon. So now we're told that Kaprizov is expected to start skating and preparing for his return to ice next week. This is from Michael Russo of The Athletic. He said Kaprizov would love to get back in the lineup for at least 2 or 3 games before the playoffs begin. It's because he missed a bunch of time at the end of last season. He looked terrible
Yeah, he
during
was not good in the playoffs.
that first round series against Dallas, and Kaprizov even said that was a problem coming in like that. So I believe we're gonna, about a week from today, maybe a week from yesterday, see Kaprizov on the ice. As long as there's been no setbacks, which there's no reason to believe, hopefully, we'll see him on the ice next week.
And when was that?
This was just last week.
Okay.
I should have changed the date in the corner and made it like an official newspaper.
Well, I hope for the best for you boys. And sounds like a pretty super serious situation. And I hope Kirill can get back and Josh can start
Well,
watching.
but wasn't there
hockey again.
wasn't there more news that he's not coming back?
That's what
I
I
didn't.
thought.
That's the last thing I've.
Oh,
That's the last thing I can find is the 21st.
I heard he was done forever.
They were hanging him up for the year.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. Okay, so on
I
Friday,
didn't know you were done. I was...
No.
Sorry.
Yeah.
That's what I heard.
Oh, Friday he was on K-Fan.
Oh, I could be told. I'm not a Minnesota. I know my Sens pretty good. You guys tell me. I don't know. You should be like, no, Phil, you're wrong because X, Y, Z.
I haven't seen anything newer than the information I got on.
Forget I said anything. My bad.
On Friday morning.
Yeah, forget I said anything.
It's been weird though. I mean, this has been going on since January, and it's like
Right.
they're being super vague, and we hope he's going to come back. He might not come back, and yeah, it's very homerish, but it's. I don't know. Have you guys noticed too? Like, there's a ton of injuries right now.
Yeah, nonstop.
You got
yeah.
McDavid MRI. I saw
Oilers.
Draisaitl
Oh my god, yeah,
is out.
Yeah.
You got Jack Hughes done for the year. They're piling up, man.
Right.
Are they not stretching or? I don't know.
I don't think they're taking their Flintstone vitamins.
Well, it's less. It's less. I don't know. I mean, the 80s and 90s hockey was insane, and I don't remember that many injuries. I mean, they were there, but like, look, my goalie, he is always getting hurt. Everything's got to be perfect all the time. Like, I'm gonna bank on certain people aren't as tough as they used to be. I'm
gonna start blaming the 4 Nations.
Oh yeah, hey, well, they worked us too hard. I don't know. It's just hockey. You're always banged up. It's the playoffs is the hardest feat in all of sports by far.
I want to watch my team again. Come back.
Well, and I think everybody else does too. I know Phil just kind of said that in the beginning, going homer on it, tongue in cheek there. But
yeah,
I think everybody that loves hockey wants to see this guy back on the ice.
Greatest players in the world. Yeah, we want to see that.
Okay, one more quick hobby news story. I don't know if you guys saw the conclusion of the Fanatics premiere had the much ballyhooed Paul Skeens MLB debut patch that sold for just $1.11 million US. Not bad. The most interesting part of that, I think people assumed it would go for big money, is that it was bought by a corporation. So Dick's Sporting Goods, a retailer here in the US, Louis loves Dick's. They bought the card and will display it at their store in Ross Park in Pittsburgh. I guess makes sense. Now they purchased the card to promote a new, I guess, collector space, as they must have like an internal store brand called House of Sport or something like that, where they're going to be, I think they already do sell some trading cards, but maybe going to be building that out, and more retail companies in the US like GameStop getting into the trading card space. And so they bought the card as a way to promote and gain publicity for and create awareness for the fact that they're getting more into that. That's a strategy of theirs.
They're keeping it in the store.
Yeah, like you're gonna be able to.
Oh well, then that they write that off. Then they didn't. That's
it's a marketing. It's really
yeah,
a marketing
that's smart.
expense.
Yeah, that's smart. Yeah, right on.
So I wonder, I just find that interesting. And I'll be curious to see if more companies start buying cards. Wouldn't that be crazy if we now have to compete with Intel?
Yeah, no kidding.
I ain't gonna
get our favorite card.
Anybody.
Well, this is the card now, right? This is the holy grail of all cards.
Baseball cards, yeah. This rookie patch.
I can't wait to see what Upper Deck's gonna do to for us. I know it'll take a while, but I can't wait to see what innovative product they have coming.
I think it's absurd to pay $1 million for a card, but a company doing it, and putting it in their store and stuff for people to see as a business thing, smart move.
Yeah, super smart, good accounting, the whole bit.
Well, they can assume the risk a lot because it's a very risky purchase, given that was a rookie last year, and there's lots of sports is filled with players that had really good rookie years and then fell off.
He could need Tommy John this year. You never know. It's cool.
I'm trying to think of a Canadian company. Like, you guys, like, Milk is like your sponsor, right?
No, that's for the Leafs. My team sponsors gambling.
Okay.
I'd have liked to see somebody else as a gift.
So have a glass of milk and bet on some games. You're good to go. Yeah.
The Macklin Celebrini Young Guns 101 was bought by Milk.
Yeah. Oh my God, did you guys see? Remember last episode, I was laughing at, you know what Canadians really want is a bank patch on their hockey card. The next day on Facebook,
yes, I saw that.
You can't write better material than that. It was so funny. I couldn't share that moment with anybody. I told I think I told my brother and he didn't get it. So I was like, that fell flat. Yeah. But overall, I mean, I think it's good that card went big. Gets our hobby out there, man. The better baseball cards do. I mean, we indirectly, what's up? Ships, tides, and raising. It's all good. Good stuff.
God, that was beautiful the way you said that. Can we put that on a poster? What is it? Ships, tides, raising?
Raising, yeah.
Okay, that's a...
Sunsets.
Sure. Yeah, we'll go with that. In honor of the Hartford Whalers Hobby Mount Rushmore, which we're doing today, Phil and I are repping the team. The hats. Louis with the graphics. There we go. We've completed every active NHL team in our Hobby Mount Rushmore series, and now we're moving on to the defunct group of teams. If you're not familiar, Hobby Mount Rushmore is where we nominate who we feel are the most deserving players for each team based on their career accomplishments with that team, their meaning to the franchise, and strength of their hobby markets. And this is the first of I don't know how many we ever will decide to do of defunct NHL teams. And maybe the team, I think would say arguably with the best colors and logo in NHL history. I don't know.
Egan Wildcats.
Whoa. NHL history? I don't know about that, but it's a great logo. Yeah. I'd say it's number one for greatest logo turned to the worst logo.
Oh, okay.
Well, Carolina.
Oh,
yeah. Why? Who do you think has the best logo?
Well, that's a whole show. That is an entire episode. I'd probably go Montreal Canadiens.
Fair enough. All right. Well, yeah, the Hartford Whalers. Now, Phil, you've heard of the Hartford Whalers, I assume?
Yes, I collect the Hartford Whalers. It's one of my guilty pleasures. Yeah.
A couple like little housekeeping things before we get into it. So, as we've done with every team, we're doing NHL, and the Hartford Whalers were a pre-NHL team. Well, the New England Whalers were a WHA team for a few years before moving into the NHL, and so we don't include that. And then we're only doing the Whalers stats, not Carolina. I know that technically it's the same franchise, but this is the Hartford Whalers Hobby Mount Rushmore, not what people did as a Hurricane.
You know what's really cool about Hartford going to Carolina?
What?
At least Carolina didn't keep their name and logo and everything.
Oh, butthurt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But they wear they wear the Whalers jerseys a lot, like a couple times a year, right? And I think they do the Cooperalls too.
Yeah, in warm-ups.
This was not a fun one. I'm just gonna come on and say I love the Whalers, but it was hard.
Yeah,
and I hemmed and hawed on it. So
you better have one person on there. I'll tell you that right now.
Okay, well, we'll find out.
Okay.
Right? The first player on the Hartford Whalers Hobby Mount Rushmore is Ron Francis, who not only played more games than any other player with the Whalers with 714, also is the team's all-time leading goal scorer with 264, all-time leader in assists with 557, and points with 821. He has 300 more points than the second closest player in Whalers history. He averaged 1.15 points per game in his tenure with the team. He captained the Whalers from 1985 until 1990. Started his captaincy at just 22 years old. Won the Lady Byng as a member of the Whalers in 1990. And overall, Francis is the player that I think is most synonymous with the Whalers, right? I mean,
yeah,
I would say
so.
He was the face of the franchise, their most productive player, and a symbol of consistency, leadership, and class during his decade-long tenure. In the past year, per card letter sales history, about 2,400 Ron Francis cards have sold in the secondary markets. Of those sales, 9 were for more than 500 US, and the highest selling Ron Francis card to date is this 1982-83 rookie PSA 10, sold for $2,520 US dollars in the Fanatics Weekly in June 2024. Now, is this your you better have him player or no?
No. Well, that's a given. It'd be odd. It'd be odd if you didn't have him. Yeah.
The second player chosen for the Hartford Whalers Hobby Mount Rushmore is goalie Mike Liut. He played 252 games with the Whalers, which is second most to Sean Burke's 256. Sorry. His 3.36 goals against and .882 save percentage obviously won't set any records, but it was during a very high scoring era in the NHL. Where he does shine in his case for Hobby Mount Rushmore is the fact he's the team's all-time leader in wins with 115, was really the team's backbone in their most competitive years in Hartford, and had a rather magical 1986-87 season where he was named NHL second team All-Star selection, was the runner-up for both the Vezina Trophy and the Hart Trophy. Very rare for a goalie to
Didn't know
be
that. That's
runner-up
crazy.
there. So Ron Hextall won the Vezina that season, and then Wayne Gretzky won the Hart Trophy.
Wayne Gretzky on steroids?
Phil,
The audience is gonna get mad at you.
me?
You have the power to play that.
I can't. I have the power to mute you, but I'm trying not to.
Yeah, okay.
All right, in the past year, 763 Mike Liut cards have sold in the secondary markets per card letter sales history. Of those sales, 0 were for more than 500 US. And the highest selling Liut card to date is this 1980-81 O-Pee-Chee rookie that sold for 500 US in August of 2023. Does that one surprise you?
No, I didn't know if you were gonna pick a goalie, that'd be the goalie. I didn't think you were gonna pick Peter Sidorkiewicz. So,
Or Sean Burke was kind of the other one.
oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, good one.
All right, the third player on the Whalers Hobby Mount Rushmore is a Howe, but it isn't Gordie Howe. It's his son Mark Howe.
Really?
The Hockey Hall of Famer played 213 games with the Whalers over 3 seasons with the team. He also played an additional 2 with the New England Whalers, but we're not counting that. So he did have a little bit longer tenure with the team. Over those 213 games, he scored 51 goals, added 147 assists for 198 points, almost a point per game average with the Whalers. These are all pretty much second in Whalers history amongst defensemen to Dave Babich, who leads, but he played way more games than Mark Howe.
And had a way better mustache.
Howe led the team in points. You're talking about Zach Werenski. He led the Whalers in points in 80-81 with 65 points in 69 games.
Wow.
Again, mainly notable because he was a defenseman. Also played in 1979-80 in the NHL with the Whalers, along with his father Gordie and his brother Marty on the same team.
Nice.
That's kind of cool. Mark Howe was the Whalers' first franchise cornerstone during their NHL years. As a gifted, smooth skating defenseman with elite offensive instincts, he gave the team credibility and stability as they transitioned from the WHA to the NHL. Over the past year, about 750 Mark Howe cards have sold in the secondary markets per card letter sales history. 5 of those sales were for more than 500 US. And the highest selling Mark Howe card to date is this 1975 O-Pee-Chee WHA rookie from when he was at the Houston Aeros.
Man, does he look like his dad, eh? It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Sold for $3,605 US dollars last October. And that leads us finally to the final player, and this was so tough. But we went with Gordie Howe. Now, you say, well, how could it be tough to go with Gordie Howe? He technically played 1 year in the NHL with the Hartford Whalers.
Hartford Oilers, eh?
Hartford Oilers, yeah. Whalers, sorry. That was, of course, 1979-80, when at 51 years old,
That's so crazy.
said 51 years old, he had a really respectable 15 goals and 41 points. And he was half a point per game player at 51.
Did nobody body check? Like, did he just get that respect, or did like anybody, like, you know what I'm saying? Did people play a little down around him? I don't know. I don't imagine his personality would want you to.
Well, like Putin on the ice.
Yeah, like that.
Well, and it's hard to see, but in the I love Gordie Howe Whalers cards. I do not like the 79. He just looks like such an old man in the O-Pee-Chee. But
he's almost your age, Josh.
Looks like he's out there skating with a chair, but they just photoshopped the chair out of the picture.
That's honestly, that's not a bad take. Now, Howe, of course, did spend 3 years with the Whalers, but 2 of those were in the WHA. And most people know this, but with both Wayne Gretzky and the Gordie Howe, the photos in Gretzky's rookie in the 1979-80 set are actually from WHA games. So, because they were taken before.
Correct.
So, how is a guy with one season with the team and 15 goals on their hobby Mount Rushmore? Well, I guess there's a couple reasons. First of all, it's Gordie F and Howe. All right. So let's just acknowledge that.
Mhm.
And then, I think that a lot of people like to collect Gordie Howe cards in the whale tail.
I'm one of
Right?
them.
Mm-hmm. And you could throw in, like, if you go back, or like rewind a couple minutes after Ron Francis, there isn't like a clear cut 2, 3, and 4 that are super obvious. And so, yeah, I just decided, I'm like, how can I not go with Gordie Howe? And when we go through some of the snubs and honorable mentions and you look at their hobby markets, you'll see that
Well,
pretty
non-existent.
easy choice.
probably.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe we should go back. Okay.
Thank you for that. Okay, so in the last year, per card letter, about 8,400 Gordie Howe cards have sold in the secondary markets. Of those sales, 359 were for more than 500 US. Of course, the highest selling Gordie Howe card to date is going to be his 1951 Parkhurst. So I found his highest selling, just for fun. Well, Whaler
Oh, nice.
is the 1979-80 OP, or this tops PSA 10, sold for 1,525
That's
US.
a great card. You don't like that card? I know it's the
He just looks
WHA,
so
but
old. He just looks
Like
so
it's
old.
out
I
there.
love it.
Like he's out there for the parent-kid game.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
it.
Can't.
So we'll go through quickly, like, snubs and honorable mentions. A huge fan favorite in Hartford was Kevin Dineen.
Yeah.
Of course, he captained the team for I think the last season before they moved to Carolina. He's second in team history and Whalers history in goals and points. He had 235 goals, 503 points, but there's almost less than 250 cards sold last year. It's like, how do you put him on the hobby Mount Rushmore? Tough. And then, Pat Verbeek is another one that came to mind.
Yeah.
Team captain from 92 to 95, had 240 goal seasons with the Whalers. Pretty gritty presence and prolific score. I think I saw a stat that I'm not sure if it's right, but if it is, it's amazing that he's the only player in NHL history with 500 goals and 2,500 penalty minutes.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then if you look at other guys that you could mention, there's Blaine, is it Stoughton? Ulf Samuelson and Sylvain Turgeon.
Turgeon.
Or Jean.
Like Sylvain Turgeon.
Sylvain Turgeon.
Yeah.
Keep
going.
I just got hungry for Domino's. Sorry. Yeah, so that's it.
keep go. Okay, so I'll mention other honorable mentions that you have it. So
All
we got Dave Keon. That's a big one. You said Ulf Samuelson. Did you say Ray Ferraro?
No.
Okay, Ray Ferraro. I'm gonna say the best one last. You said Kevin Dineen, Andrew Castles.
Yeah, Andrew Castles. I could have mentioned him.
Here's a big one that you boys would know. Dean Evanson.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so there's one. And you forgot Jeff Sanderson. Jake's daddy.
Yeah. Jake's Peppy. And Peppy.
Taught him everything he knows. Yeah.
Well, who do we want to do next? Because there's the Nordiques, North Stars. We could do like
Quebec.
Thrashers.
We have to do Quebec.
Let's get the Thrashers out of the way.
No, I don't want to do that. I don't feel good. I have the black lung.
Don't yawn.
You got the black lung, pup.
I don't want to do the Thrashers.
Oh, you don't want to do, because
I want to do Quebec.
Danny Heatley love fest with the Atlanta Thrashers.
We're doing
all Phil's favorite former Ottawa Senators.
Josh, just pick somebody other than Quebec and don't tell us.
Yeah, that's fair.
Well, it's either the North Stars or the Yotes. I'm gonna do the North Stars.
Can we just skip a couple teams? No one's gonna listen, man.
Yeah. Would it be cool to do like these are like the hardest segment to do? So part of me doesn't want to sign up for anymore, to be honest. But
yeah, I agree.
I almost think we should do like a round of countries, shouldn't we? Like the Canadian. Oh, I can't wait to.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that'd be crazy. That's wait till I move. Yeah, wait till I move.
That would be super tough, wouldn't it?
I'd have strong conviction in my list. Do a top 10. Can't.
No, 4.
Just 4?
Yeah. What's the bit?
Why don't I do Americans and you do Canadians? No, that's dangerous for you guys. Don't do that.
You'd never get it done.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
Why wouldn't I get it done?
Ooh.
I run a business.
Ooh.
I get stuff done, bud. I don't work for the government. I work for myself. Yeah, no union at Phil's house, buddy. Sorry.
It's too bad.
I know. I made bad decisions at a young age, unfortunately.
Well, if we do governments, do we need to decide right now which country Brett Hull plays for? Or can he be on both?
That's a tough conversation to have. I mean,
I don't think there's any, as amazing as Brett Hull was, I don't think there's any risk of him being one of the 4 best Canadian.
No. I'm not. I mean, I'm not mocking saying no. He's top 15, maybe. I don't know.
But if we did the countries, we should only use international competition, right?
I don't know what that means. What do you mean? Like international ice
only
size?
Olympic. Yeah,
not
like
playing.
not NHL stats, only stats for playing.
Yes.
For that country.
International, yeah. Let's do it.
All right, we'll do that after we'll see how far we make it. We'll do North Stars and Nordiques for sure.
Okay.
And then probably
that'll be fun.
we have to do Thrashers just to watch you squirm.
Louis, and you should do it separate, and Josh, you should do it separate. Don't tell each other.
North Stars?
No, the international one.
No.
Okay. Or North Stars. That'd be funny. That'd be kind of funny. Do you do your own North Stars each? I want to see if you guys you'd think it'd be the same, probably.
Could be.
Probably at least 2 or 3.
Okay. Well, that's 50%. So.
Oh no, the 3 would be the same, right, Louis? I mean, there's 3 very obvious ones.
So Bobby Smith, first one. What?
Nope.
Honorable mention.
Oh, fine. What, Neil Broughton?
Let's not do the bit now.
Okay.
We got to talk to Johnny A.
Yeah.
Johnny Amendola.
Yeah.
So I guess, I know I'm very confident in saying.
Did that for you, buddy. Love you, man.
Oh my God, Louis, that's so perfect. I'm Italian. What do you want from me? You should have put a pizza up there.
Yeah, you need to send me those photos pretty much immediately.
Did Phil just culturally appropriate? You're darn right I did. That's a big one. It's funny.
And a huge bummer, this whole tariff thing is getting very real in the hockey hobby for you Canadians. And I don't know, maybe for us Americans at some point too. I got a feeling if people start to pay, we're all going to feel it a little bit, and we wanted, because of that, and to get kind of like, well, what's really happening now? What could happen in the future? That whole sort of stuff. We thought it made most sense to talk to someone like Johnny, who runs Mintink, of course, one of our partner and sponsor. We're very grateful for, one of the biggest card shops in Canada, to kind of get the scoop on how they're preparing, what when this is going to happen, what the impact he thinks will be. And we had an amazing conversation, and he was very forthcoming, and so very grateful for that. So I hope you enjoy our conversation with Johnny Amendola from Mintink. Well, we always enjoy welcoming back to the Hockey Cards Gongshow podcast, good friend, sponsor and partner, Johnny Amendola from Mintink. Hey, Johnny, how's it going, buddy?
It's going fantastic. How are you guys?
Hey.
Okay, so we wanted to have you on because there's a lot swirling up there in Canada as it relates to tariffs and currency and all this sort of thing. So we're going to attempt, because we're politically Switzerland here.
Yep,
right?
Agreed.
This is not a political conversation at all. So that's our disclaimer.
Absolutely.
But there is real impact of what is happening in politics on the hockey hobby. And so we want to kind of discuss that and sort of figure out how you guys as card shops are navigating. And before I turn you loose, I was thinking about you this morning in particular, and how you basically, not in that way, Louis, but thanks for that mental image.
As he said that, the dog got up from behind him. I didn't even know the dog was there.
No, but so I was thinking about like your experience in building Mintink, and as we know from your story, you kind of started Mintink during COVID.
Yes.
And then, and had all these like crazy macro environment sort of things that affected your business. And now we're in this kind of another sort of, who would have predicted sort of environment. It's like, you must just be thinking at some point, can I just have like a normal business operating environment for a year? And
my whole career has been in the chaos. So Fortunately for myself, and I guess for my team, and hopefully for our customers, I thrive in chaos. However, it's not something that a mass we want to have to do and this and that. So, but it's funny you talk about. So, like I said, before, I've been a lifelong collector. In like 2018, 19, when I had kind of senior citizen money. Somebody called me a senior today. I'm only 45. I started to kind of reinvest in the space, and in late 2019, mid 2019, I started to do a little bit more. And funny enough, Jan Feb of 2020, pre-COVID, I had started to do some stuff back on eBay, and yeah, right in April, and we'll tell the whole story again another time. But just this week in the mail came all my trademarks. Mintink, Breaks After Dark, and Breaks After Dark. The hashtag. This is a huge.
Nice.
It's a huge deal. 5 years later, we had. So you talked about COVID, and there was vaccines after dark, and I legit sent them a cease and desist. I'm like, you're infringing on my trademark, and it was like a municipality here. They were trying to whatever, and anyway, so big win this week. The trademarks came in. 5 years later, we're back in the storm. And I like to kind of think of it as in the storm. And I wore this shirt today. Gary V gave me this shirt. We were chatting, and I filled out a survey, and I'm the decisive duck. So I think that, the ability to just look through with the blinders and not make it political and not make it personal or about myself, or really it's the fiduciary duty to the bottom line, which allows us to pay the payroll, which allows us to give the customers a fantastic experience. So yeah, when our dollar is worth, 30, 40, 50% less than yours, and now there's a 25% tariff on almost everything, we'll elaborate. It definitely makes you, as a business leader, kind of have to stop and take a step back and really reevaluate everything. And the issue with that for some people is, especially if you're like a hyper growth, momentum is the biggest delta in business. So when you're going full throttle, and it's one thing you can navigate a few sort of roadblocks along the way. It's another thing when these are like big giant hurdles that even an Olympic hurdleist all of a sudden has a hard time. You have to go back and retrain. If the hurdle's bigger, we have to retrain and reevaluate or pivot, as they say. I don't like these COVID buzzwords, but ultimately, so and the kind of underlying issue is there's just so much uncertainty around it. We don't know if this stops tomorrow or a week from now. And from our perspective in Canada, if the tariff was to go away tomorrow, the weak dollar isn't going anywhere anytime soon. We have the low, again, not political, just data. We have I looked at this stat last night, and in the last 10 or 20 years, our GDP growth is like 50th in the world. It's insane. And Ireland is actually number 1. US is at number 10. So, so there's all of that global economic. Now, the hobby is alive. The hobby is thriving. Basic economics, supply versus demand, etc. So there's also a lot of, still very positive metrics at play, which can really allow you to make better sort of business decisions. I bought a fidget spinner.
Okay, so I have a specific question on tariffs. So, can you get into the nuts and bolts of, for Canadians, what will be impacted, what won't, and when?
Yeah, sure. I got a lot to say, so I have a big bottle of water.
Jesus.
So, okay, so basically, first and foremost, I'll address. So there's two things. Number one, we were talking. You guys were when we were talking about last week's new release, the currency conversion. So average price of Premier in Canada right now is $4.30 a box Canadian.
Okay.
On your show, you were saying it's $260 to $280 US. How can that be? So $280 US today is $4.20. We're at 0.5. 1.5. The dollar's so bad. You throw the conversion in there, credit card fees, whatever. So you're getting anywhere from 1.42 to 1.5 by the time it's all said and done. Really depends how you're paying for something. So just straight conversion, 275 US is $400 Canadian now, first and foremost. So there's already that misconception because it's just starting to sound. I remember in the year 2000, before the Nortel and the whole .com thing, I was a power seller on eBay, and we were selling toys, pop culture, all the stuff you see behind me.
Sure.
And the dollar was the same. So I would have a Marvel box of 1999 Marvel cards that was 100 Canadian, and I would put it up at 100 US, and it would sell. And it would be I would sell, or dollar for dollar, sorry,
Yeah.
in US dollars, and I was working on a 50% margin, gross profit margin, without doing anything. So in one breath, there's optically that. In the same token, if you're selling into the US, so I mean, we can't sell product, new upper deck product in the US, but that doesn't mean as a business owner, I can't sell the rest of my store into the US. So now you're a US buyer and you come on my site and you want this Alex Newhook card that'll be for auction next week, and scored on the Sens last week. And let's say this is the right price, which it isn't, but let's say it is. It's $1,000. Well, if Louis goes on eBay and he sees that card, $1,000 is $650. So the one thing, first point we have to remember to sum that up is this. This is the best analogy I give. Patrick Mahomes, Wayne Gretzky, Cup limited logo, first year Cup. It's a $50,000 card. And I'm being hypothetical before you get me in the chat. It's a $50,000 US dollar card. Okay, follow me. Today it's 50,000. Tomorrow it's 50,000. Yesterday it's 50,000. If you're in Canada, 50,000 US today is 80,000. Tomorrow it could be 90,000. And 6 months ago it was 40,000. 10 years ago it was 29. It was 48,000. We were ahead of you. So this is the first and foremost thing. Now the entire
it's like a moving target that you always have to
1,000%.
adjust.
Well, we're pegged against, the whole hobby is pegged against your dollar. So for us, if I buy a Patrick, I'm going to go back to Patrick Mahomes. If I buy a Patrick Mahomes NT for 100,000 US today, it's going to, I bought something the other, the great example, I bought something the other day. It was $85,400, whatever. And it converted to like 126,900. That same transaction, I bought the same thing 6 months ago, was almost 10,000 less. Oof. It was still 85,000 US. You got me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no. And it's funny too. Like, I get how it's pegged to the US dollar, but where maybe Premier is a little bit like on the straight equivalency in Canada is a little bit more, although it's going up in price, it's up $35 already. So people must be
tariffed on the restock, but we'll talk about that next.
Okay. But a lot of times though, it's the opposite, right? Like there'll be a clear cut comes out and like, I'll do the currency conversion and it's like, geez, it's $20 cheaper in Canada.
So goes the other way. Now, other side of the coin is and this is another. So we're good on the US dollar point because that's important for people to know, especially when they have to remember everything I buy on the primary market. So we're not talking about singles. We're talking about wax. We're talking about supplies, gaming, all sports, everything less a handful of products that are printed in Italy are manufactured and printed in the United States. So the US dollar, Funko Pops are 15% more at my cost in September just because the dollar has gone down that much more. So it's very important to understand your local hobby shop is buying. And we're not talking about secondary market. We're talking about primary market. We're talking about new releases every week. We're talking about you need supplies. Once my top loaders are done, that next shipment of supplies from California, well, the price of top loaders are going up. So we have to really understand that. And of course, your local hobby shop, if nothing to do with it. Hopefully, through subsidiaries, through manufacturers, and through the hobby shops eating some of it, which is sort of what I've been working on all week. We can still keep it very affordable and competitive because what we don't want to happen is we don't want Canadians to lose interest because we're ultimately getting hosed with a really crappy dollar and tariff. So that's a very important point. To your next point, in Canada, it's illegal. It's against the law, the charter, whatever, to enforce MSRP. So in the United States, you guys get a price. This is the price for so long with so many terms and rules and regs. In Canada, you could sell me a product, your upper deck, and me and Phil and Louis are all dealers. And Phil wants to sell it for $99 and Louis wants to sell it for $109 and I want to sell it for $95. We can. So,
but wouldn't I lose my privilege of?
Well, no, you would think that, but unfortunately, we'd like to hope that doesn't happen. And
so, as a result, as a card shop, do you have to basically price check every day your products then to see
So there's
where?
a lot of price checking, but it really depends on like, let me think about this for a second. Like I can only speak to how I run my business.
Yeah, I got
right.
you.
But everybody's in different situations. This is a
Mhm.
very, very, very capital heavy industry. Cash flow is key. So, we have Series 2 fidget spinner, EX, and Premier in a 4-week window. I got to put a lot of money out. Like, and I got to pay for this product to get the product. So it's not like I get to pay when I get paid, the distributors. Plus, I got to pay for the machine to move it all. So it's a lot happening all at once. Now, so, like a
Well,
conglomerate.
can I step in for a second? Sorry
Sure
to
you can.
interrupt, but and I'm basing this on not stuff we've heard directly from you, but just other people. But I think it's good for people to know is that from what I'm learning, it seems like as a card shop that you have to guess how to some degree how people are going to react. So if you order 50 cases of EX2000 and the product falls flat, that's a real problem that you have on
Oh,
your
really,
hands.
a very yeah,
Mhm.
no, it's a real problem. And if I ordered, same thing with any other product. Again, I try to always play both sides of the coin. It's a
Yeah,
really good product, and I only bought 10, and I wish
sure.
I bought 100. So,
Hmm.
so we could argue. That argument is, as long as there's more winners than losers, we're net ahead. And
Yes.
if you don't buy on impulse and you use your data properly and you know your gross margin, bottom line, blah blah blah, yes, you should be able to. But it doesn't change the fact that business is expensive. There's always crap that happens. You just never know, and that's a lot all at once. So I may have to unload a product at cost plus, call it, maybe processing fees, to just get my cash back, because I got to just keep the machine going.
Yeah, you
Lost
got to
Right.
cost
keep it
So,
power.
moving.
so, so I think that when you see that's what happens. Then alternatively, what happens, and it's unfortunate, but it is what it is, because in some products, there's lots of it, is it hits the secondary market because, maybe again, people might be stuck. They got to move it. However, somebody got a good deal. And then all of a sudden, the box is available on Facebook Marketplace for less money. So, from our point of view, yeah, there's a lot of price checking. There's a lot of data. AI is a great tool. But we've been doing this for a long time. There's so much historical data. You can't time anything, but again, it's about sustainability. If you're buying right, this industry way past the COVID boom, like charted against the S&P, I said it last time, for the last couple of decades, supply circle back. It always, um,
Yeah.
the demand seems to catch up eventually. And in this case, like, and these manufacturers, for the most part, like, 50, 60, 70% of the product they put out doesn't meet the demand. It's just
Mm.
the other stuff maybe exceeds, but no one has this problem with Cup or Premier or Topps Definitive Baseball or Panini Prism. But give me the Panini Baseball. I got fidget spinners of that too. So I mean, it's
Yeah.
about, you gotta just have more wins than losses. And business says if you have
Sure.
more losses than wins, you shouldn't be in that, thing. So there's just to answer your question about how that happens here. There's just a few different
Well, I
factors.
have a
And
little follow-up question on EXs because I
sure,
actually am a big Fleer guy. And is
please
it
do.
harder when you have products like that where they don't come out every year? And so, like when every year you sell X amount of boxes of the cup, the baseline, so you can judge the rookie class
Yeah,
and kind of
yeah.
get an idea of how much you'll need. But when it's a brand new product, or like PHL was another great example. Obviously, enough wasn't printed based on
Not
the
even
demand,
close. So that's a product
right?
4X.
Because
4X.
nobody knew if anyone would care about it.
So
And
the
then
exact opposite happened with the X. Be blunt. So PWHL, oh yeah, and it was like, oh my goodness, it literally went from 1 4. We pre-sold our allotment at 149 a box. Those boxes were worth 400 Canadian the next day. Um,
Oh, that's so crazy. That's
and
wild.
we would never. I did the same thing. Next week's journey, the Pokemon release is a big deal. It got tariffed. I'm honoring all pre-orders. We're just eating the tariff. Like, you just can't go back. I can't do business
yeah,
that way. We never will. Um, you got to make the right decisions, or business is a gamble too. Like, you got to take risk. If I thought that EX was going to be a winner because I was a believer in, the Bedard thing that's still in everybody's head, like, I've been reminded
Yeah.
about, or because I'm a huge 90s nerd and this stuff was like, then that's my fault. Overall, because I mean, I hear you and I'm trying to stay very politically correct. Not every product is going to be a winner. Sometimes the losers are bigger. I think it's, what's the rebound? Now, because a lot of people talk, to just address it bluntly, the issue isn't necessarily that the EX isn't the best product. I think for some shops, the issue is it was a lot. It was in between two others all at once. It's a lot. So now I have flagship, which is it's the flagship. I mean, everybody wants
Yeah.
flagship. It's back to a very affordable price again. It's
Two strong
150
rookies,
bucks a
right? You got
pop.
Minchkoff and
Two strong
Celebrini.
shops are making.
Nice
They're
insert.
not. The margin isn't anything crazy, but the volume is there, so everybody wins. Shops aren't getting rich off of it, but it's a great traffic driver. It's selling. It's it's fluid. That's what you want in every product. And Premier is already up. It dropped from the pre-order to release, and now it's on its way back up. And I know that there's none left in Upper Deck. If they have more and more has to come here, it's going to cost 25% more to get it here. So if you go on Dave and Adams today to buy a box of Premier, that's only $275 US. Well, it's not $275 US anymore. It's $343. And then let's get to the tariffs. So I'm going to keep it very macro because I'm not a political science major and I'm not an economist. I'm going to just tell you what I know as it relates to the bills I'm getting. So in a nutshell, any product, and a whole bunch of different products manufactured in the States, from minerals and resources and energy to cardboard, was tariffed at a rate of 25%. So what that means is you will pay an additional tax importing any of said items to the tune of 25%. CIMA. If you look at your UPS bill, you'll see CIMA. I got one the other day for $3,000 on a $12,000 order.
That's fun.
Yeah. So, and it really started getting enforced around March 3rd to March 13th. Anything after March 13th now. So what that means is basically if the card was printed in the United States, then it counts. So if the cards were printed in Italy, so some, Phil, SPX is next. You know the release is better than I do. Is SPX next? Yeah. So SPX printed in Italy, there will be no tariff. It doesn't matter that it comes in through it's printed.
Yeah, I was going to ask if it's shipped to the US and then shipped to Canada.
It's manufactured in Italy.
Okay.
Now, maybe that changes if the European Union gets a tariff, but as of right now, there's no tariff on that. But Premier or EX or flagship, these extended, these products that are printed in the US. So that means the cost of goods goes up. So first thing people say is, well, who's going to absorb that cost? Because nobody wants to pay 25% more for anything. So and you can read in some places there's thresholds of $800 or $2,500. And if you use this tariff code versus that tariff code, I promise you, they're all over this. Everything is getting open. Everything's getting checked. And, I'm not talking about you're buying a single online. Nothing would change there. But, anything that's coming here en masse, or if you're a purchaser buying anything for sure over that $800, I believe, threshold, and don't quote me, it could be zero, it could be everything. But, any hobby shop's not buying a box of something. You're buying cases, multiple, you're spending thousands and thousands of dollars at a time. And big picture, the distributors have to buy. So moving forward from the 13th, you can assume most everything in sports and gaming will be. Pokemon already has been, and there's been no relief. The point I was going to make there, which is what the consumers would want to know, is between the manufacturer, the wholesaler, and the retailer, and consumers would just want that. Hey, you guys are going to eat it all, and we're just going to pay the same. So if the manufacturer and the distributor don't subsidize it, and the gross margin on the product is not substantial enough to offset the tariff and still allow enough of a margin to pay the bills, well, I won't subsidize it because I just won't buy it. I can't buy it to work. It's not about not giving the customer what they want. That's the mission now. The pivot going back to before talking about the chaos is how can we provide our customers, or what else can we provide our customers, or how can we, make this work? And there's definitely product out there through all manufacturers, Pokemon, Premier, where the demand is so great and the MSRP is what it is that you'll still see it available. A little bit will get absorbed along the way, and the booster box might go up $10 or $20, not $100.
But and I'll speak ill of the dead a little bit here. But if like Synergy was coming out next in 2 weeks, that might be just because although it has its own cult following and people do like it, and I'm not saying it's a bad product, but it just doesn't have the demand that other products do.
Exactly. So let's just say, as an example, from a business lens, I set a mark and I say, okay, this is the gross margin, that we need to bring in to at the very end of the day, break even. We're not here to screw anybody over. We're here for the long run. We're also not here to operate at a loss, because then we won't be here for the long run. So the good thing is, nobody's going to be forced to take anything. You're going to be forced to make good business decisions. If a product doesn't meet the threshold, or we're making a gamble, then yes, to your point, that's what we would have to take into consideration. So
is that both distributors, Johnny? Is that Grosvenor and Universal, or letting you have the option now to not take product?
I'm going to say, like, industry as a whole, all of the manufacturers, thus the distributors, like that's, and like, I mean, here's the reality. There's no short of demand in the US for the product that's coming in Canada. Like if I said I don't want my Premier, they would take it back as fast as they could.
So why don't they do that normally? Why? So I have a bit of a different question here, more of a human question. So you have an Upper Deck, the product manufacturer, and then they give it to a distributor, and then it seems like after the distributor gives it to the diamond dealers and the brick and mortar, that's where the real angst and stress comes. So how do you, as an individual, like a human who's also a friend of us, how do you wake up every day and have to lead that charge, knowing the people above you? Like, do you feel like you're alone on an island a little bit? I know you revel in that, but that is difficult for some people. So Upper Decks, they sell out in the first day. The distributors don't have problems ever. Listen, if you're a distributor listening, I'm sure you got some problems, but not like Johnny, not like my shop out of the box. They're stressed all the time. You just got over COVID. And now you have to lead the charge for your customers. And what support does Johnny get? What support does my LCS owner get from the distributors and Upper Deck, where you're talking about this now? Like, I can say no to a product, and that's good. Look how happy you are to that. But that's not the norm. Let's not sugarcoat something that's very difficult.
Right. So I'm not. Yeah. Okay. So
I don't mean to put you in a bad spot. You're my buddy, and I see a lot
you're not putting me in a bad spot. Like, you're talking about what people say things. So first and foremost, I can say no to whatever I want at any given time.
Okay.
Every action has an equal or opposite reaction. So we're all big boys and girls, and I can make whatever decision I think is in the best interest of my business. If by definition what you're implying is I'm told you've got to do this to do that, well, now I have to just assess, is this worth that, and wins versus losses. And I really have to understand what the blended rate on my gross margin is and what I need to sell every month in order to pay the bills. And I need to have probably a credit facility in place. Probably most of this stuff is like a 90 to 180 day sell through. So the products like Premier that are selling through in a week aren't indicative of how you should be running your business. And I'm not here to judge or coach. I'm simply just, for 20 years, I coached small. Right? For 20 years, I coached small business, and I've had some huge losses and some huge wins. Most of my losses came from doing exactly the opposite of what I'm explaining to you, letting my ego and my emotion make decisions and not the data. If the data says don't do it and you do it, I feel not sorry for you. And I've done that. I lost my first house because I let emotion make a decision, and my venture failed and started over, and I'll never do that again. But you know what? I was a baptism by fire, and I like to say I have an MBA because of it. I almost was gonna get on Google and buy like a fake degree and put it on my wall so I could put initials.
I'll give it to you.
So I could put initials beside my name. But honestly, Phil, There's good times and bad times in any business. If it rains all summer long, you will not be as prosperous. If it is hot and sunny and people want landscaping and growing and all that kind of stuff. So diversification is extremely important. I cannot stress that enough. In Orlando at the CDD conference, Jason, the president of Beckett, a lot of his keynote was about diversification. Like they brought Pokemon there. So, I mean, this is a competitor bringing another competitor there. And I think that what you have to understand is it's sort of all big picture. So if you're a hobby shop in Canada and all you sell is 90% hockey, well, then yeah, you're at the mercy of.
Good answer.
Like I said, you guys brought on Legos, and I don't care how old I am, Legos will never not be cool to me.
Well, guess what the next big guess what Lego's next big play is? The largest IP.
Pokemon, right?
The Pokemon's the biggest IP in the world, 108 billion. It's worth 4 times Disney, and that's the cumulative. Before you at me, Disney, Lucas, and Marvel combined, Pokemon, Pikachu, Charizard, Darth Vader. Get on your Google right now.
No, I refuse to. Nope, I'm turning a willfully
You're an
blind
Ottawa
eye.
Senators fan, so I don't expect anything less from you.
Oh, please.
So hold on. When we started this venture, that was Josh. I talked to Josh a few times about I love that, about my footnotes from the beginning because he's into all that stuff. And I reverse engineered it. I knew at the same time, just to counter that, because it's very important, there's no way you can be in Canada and not sell hockey cards and be successful. So I knew the journey, the way Upper Deck operates, and how long it was going to take to get all their seals of approval. So we started selling, obviously singles. I operated grading at a loss for a year. I was doing so much grading, the grading companies finally called us and said, "What are you doing?" Waiting for you to call me. We carry tops, we're the only official tops hobby shop in Canada. Like that took me 2 years grinding, flying around the country.
I didn't know that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So it's about people will say to me, like, just to speak bluntly, like, because I think it's the best way to, from my perspective, I answered that query you just threw at me, that like anxiety that I feel too. Absolutely.
Well, every day it's just like we're similar, right? I'm go. I'm the master of my environment. I don't feel 100%. Above who you are. You can, but
so if you have one bucket only of revenue stream, and that one bucket is controlled, to your point, by 1 or 2 people, and you have no say, well, me and you share a lot of the same political views. That's what we're preaching. So it's no different in business than it is in every other walk of life. So I looked at it and I said, well, so on a week where maybe I got to eat one, I've got 6 or 7 other things that are making, and you know what? If every so often I win across the board, because that has to happen or I didn't do it right, I can just get up and keep on going and keep on thriving. But the biggest thing I've learned in 25 years, 20 years, I guess, of coaching businesses and being my own business and looking at big wins and big losses. And, we helped the food chain go from 20 stores to 100. And it's like, if you don't, you have to be able to look 6 or 12 months down the road at minimum, or else, forget it. Especially when you get past a certain, I have 25 employees now. I can't just rely on selling hockey cards anymore.
Yeah, no kidding. Okay, so I have a question. Timing question is that, you have to, at your level, right? You have to plan and you have to be thoughtful and, play chess, not checkers, right?
I love to play chess.
When it comes to the tariff issue, how long are you planning for? What's your business? I know your hope is, and everyone's hope is, it ends immediately. No matter what side of the spectrum you're on, nobody wants tariffs, right? I think hopefully we can agree.
I'll tell you, I could not agree more. We don't want tariffs. The amount of Americans that reach out to me and, John, and I was like, one of my distributors in the States, he's like, man, I'm sorry. I'm like, why are you sorry? I said, just do me a favor, sell me high margin stuff so I can keep the momentum going. Like, just sell me different stuff that people will buy, and
use the guilt as leverage.
Away we go. And you know what? We're really working, like, again, for myself and for my customers, I'll use tops as an example. I'm not stopping. I'll just, like I said, I have a formula. And if I have to get this and I'm supposed to buy this, and if I have to take a little bit less of this or a little bit of this and a little bit more of this, like again, I'm chasing now a very much a blended rate. How long do I think it's going to last versus how long I want it to last? I want the fact that I put in 50 hours into reorganizing the procurement around all this. In the last 2 weeks, I would love if I found out tomorrow it would be over and I would put another 50 hours to go back in. That would be the best use or waste of use of my time ever. Reality is, especially for the viewers in the States that don't know this, but we don't have a functioning federal government. And when I say that, I don't mean that as a shot at the governing party.
He doesn't.
I mean, literally, our government was probated. They left. The prime minister resigned. They party put somebody in place, kind of like what you guys did there with Kamala. There was no real primaries or anything like that. And now they're in the midst of there's hearsay that they're going to call an election this coming week. So what happens is until actual governments form, regardless of the winner, until government is formed, there's nobody officially that can, go to Washington and actually start
to negotiate. There's really no negotiator that has any.
Yeah,
nobody running the show.
So you've got all these premiers who are like the equivalent of your governors.
Yeah, like
showing up in Washington. Oh, we're going to cut the hydro off, or making demands. So it's we have a situation here, and you have to understand Canada is a little bit the same of the States in the sense that not quite as different regionally, but East Coast is East Coast, Central Canada. Then you got Quebec, and then you got the West Coast, and then BC is a little bit of everything. So it's now on top of the fact that we don't have this governing party and all this divide, we have divide amongst the divide. So I think that sometime between the end of April or October 20th, I think it's the second Tuesday in October, whatever that is, we will have an election. At that point in time, this discussion will get a little further. I don't think that it'll happen before then, because I don't think, and I may be wrong, but without functioning government, I don't think that we can even meet any of the United States administration's demands, because I don't think they can really pass things, and I don't think we can change border security, so to speak, at mass overnight.
Our parliament closes up for the summer too, right? So you can't.
We have we're not talking politics today. We're talking tariffs about.
Well, that's what happens. Yeah.
So
if we sent. Me and Louis were going to send Phil to the border, and
we should send him. Except he needs to go to that border in Alberta, not here. It's too friendly here. Send him to that Alberta. He's like, I'm going to the Packers game.
Cheesehead.
Yeah. So I think that as much as we want it to end tomorrow, I think that it could be a little bit longer. I don't think it's going to be, forever. I also think that there's also, besides just this specific thing, a lot of the other things were kind of already there. So, it's really hard to say. But on the other side of the coin now, because we have to talk positive. I'm a positive person.
Of course.
Our American business is way up.
Good for you.
So again, it's about diversification. You're buying it at a really good rate.
What is your American business? Just so I understand exactly what you're talking about.
I'm not going to give you. I'm not going to really tell you that on here because too many of my competitors listen. But it's not a couple percent. But we are definitely a Canada first business. I'll tell you this much. At one point in time, not that long ago, it was under 5%. I built a Canada first company. There is a video online for me, December 2020, when I knew that this hobby was going to be what it is. And I knew Mintink would be a staple. And I said, when you think of the hobby in Canada, I want it to be synonymous with Mintink. I will be clear, everything we do. So I'm literally buying product to break even to just keep the machine moving. So everything we do is for the greater good, we're in it for the long run. Haters hate, that's just a sign of success. It means that we're doing something right. And I love taking up places in people's brains, man.
Maybe let me be a little more specific, because I think you interpreted my poor question differently than I intended it, which is my fault. But is by American business, is that stuff that you're selling to people like me and Louis here in America?
Yeah, number of buyers.
Oh, okay.
New business, American new business. This is a better stat I could give you. Yeah. My new business of US customers in the last 30 days is a couple fold.
Nice. Okay.
Johnny, you could make the I in Mintink, one of them or both of them, the maple leaf. The dot.
Oh yeah, we should do like a little alternative logo.
Yeah. Well,
Canada's
you
not
want to be
Canada.
Canadian
Canada
branded?
is not for sale. Mintink hat. But all our cards are, and your dollar is worth lots of money. So all you Americans, Mintink.ca, we ship everywhere.
Okay.
Can I float a theory by you that I've been hoping for?
Sure.
But I think you would be, and I mentioned it to these guys. Do you think, like, as a result, what people like me that are probably the consumer, what's wax going to be like at the expo? Are we going to have cheap wax for people like that want to buy cheap wax?
So two things about wax at the expo. Number one, not a lot of wax at the expo. You have a few of the larger dealers like us that'll bring wax, but I got that vibe because I love to buy wax. There are warehouses, houses, stores, and basements full of wax. The tariffs are, remember, media is great telling you this has been going on for 2 months. The tariffs are like 11
Is this gonna be like
days
prohibition? Are we gonna have like wax speakeasies that you have to like
So-
knock and say the secret code?
So listen, you don't understand but that's his. So somebody said this to me the other day. Well, can I go to the States and bring it over? And I'm like, well, you can, but go read up on about prohibition in the 30s and what that was like for people if you weren't Al Capone.
I'm
Like
a bootlegger.
before you and I want to just
Bill, dig a
okay,
tunnel.
hold on. PSA to the viewers, because there's people out there. The almighty dollar makes you do things.
Sure.
They will destroy you. If you think you're going to go to Dave and Adams, load up your car because you got some American cash and you're going to come here and you're going to double dip because you're not going to pay tariffs, they will get you one way or another. You might get it the first time, and they will make examples. This is one of those things where they're going to make examples of people. You will get the book. It'll just be the miserable day. And all that's going to happen is you're going to just have to pay the bill. It's going to cost you the whole day. Every single time you cross the border, you're going to get flagged. So you do your thing. If you have Nexus, you're never going to get it again. So I've had a few people seriously say that to me. Like, well, I'm going to go to Dave and Adams and spend 100,000 and I'm going to make 25 grand. I'm like, or you're going to pay 50 and never be able to go to the States again. So you do, again, what do they say? You make your bed, you lie in it.
Yep.
So I think there's going to be, I'm buying wax on the secondary market like crazy right now. Again, I got to keep my shelves full. People come in, my store's very busy. The be all and end all in this hobby isn't the 3 releases that came out this week. Now, 6 months, 12 months down the road. The other thing is, can we be frank? Are you telling me, and I'm going to be frank here, like Phil, I'm going to talk to you guys like I'm not the guy that owns the store. You're going to tell me I'm going to have a hard time selling the 6 or 8 or 10 cases a cup if it's 20% more? Because I don't think so.
No, I don't think.
I mean, am I going to have a hard? If the Panini Prism box is $1,000 or $1,200 and the same 20 are only available? So at the end of the day, basic economics prevails in the top of this space as well. So unfortunately, if we can't get more resourceful, if we can't get more of those people thinking like, okay, let's see if we can weather the storm and make some money in some other areas, it's the entry level that feel it. It's the kids can't get a $6 pack of Pokemon cards or a $6 pack of hockey cards. So, and that's where you feel it when 6 is 8. Not when 1,000 is 1,100, because the $1,000 buyer doesn't care.
So the wax at the expo thing. So you're saying that more people are stashing and waiting than are gonna.
Well, I'm saying the only wax at the expo that would be like overinflated or not even overinflated, adjusted for market, would be anything that's just new this year. Because you could argue like not even this year, like the new releases. Like sure, if you want a Topps product that came out a month ago and it's limited in Canada and we're sold out of it and every other store sold out of it and you got to go to Dave and Adams, then yeah, you're paying 25% more. So the question is if I've been holding 3 cases of something for a year, but that's now the market. The same breath says, well, why can't I sell you? Where did my fidget spinner fall on the floor? I'm supposed to give you a $50 off on this box, but you don't want to pay market price on this box. This is so this is what's going to happen. But yeah, short answer is, of course, there's going to be deals. There's always deals.
Good.
Yeah.
Like to hear that.
Now.
So
we'll have lots of deals. Come see us, Mintink. We'll have 1,000 square foot presence right in the middle of the expo, right close by to these fine gentlemen and my buddy Karn and the team at Slap Sharks. And you know what? Let's get it. all weekend, baby. Trade
Are you
night
in the same?
Saturday.
Is it the same like layout and configuration as the last show?
Yeah, as far as I know.
Okay.
Maybe I'm not supposed to say that. Are you guys doing the chateau again?
No.
Of course.
Yeah, we do. Yeah,
The
we got the house.
chateau. Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, no Rip Party. Sorry, I thought I was thinking Rip Party. Yeah,
Yeah, we're doing Rip Party in November again. It's a once a year thing. We decided.
Yeah, that's a big operation.
And
Yeah,
thank you, Johnny. Thank you for your really big donation this year for the next Rip Party. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sure.
Thanks,
Pleasure.
man.
All that
I
product's
didn't know
available
that there was a $25,000 bill in
worldwide.
Canada.
Josh, what's that?
Oh,
I didn't know that Canada
Yeah.
printed a $25,000.
hey, never
bill
mind.
until-
If I was a really shrewd negotiator, I would say to you, hey, my sponsorship on your show cost me 10% more than when I signed up.
Oh,
Your
shots fired,
administration, your administration keeps devaluing my dollar, but I'm a big fan, so I'll support anyway, even for 10%.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And you have to know that as Americans, we only care about ourselves, right? I mean, that's part of the
No.
condition of being an
Yeah.
American.
I'm an only child and I don't know how to share. So selfishly, I should have just been an American because I might fit that bill. But yeah, so just to recap, if I can really quickly, because it's very important. Couple of things I want to make sure all the viewers understand. First of all, the Canadian dollar is the lowest it's been in almost 2 decades. So when 300 US dollars actually is 450, I know it doesn't sound right. For you Americans, make sure when you're negotiating with Canadian sellers on eBay, that extra $1 or $2, be nice. Number two, tariffs aren't going away tomorrow, and there really isn't a workaround. Hopefully, distributors, and further to what you said earlier, Phil, these distributors need us to succeed ultimately. So they're not just going to leave anybody out high and dry. There's always a way. I mean, especially if you're a good dealer and you're in good standing and you're paying your bills and you've been doing this for a long time, like nobody wants to see anybody suffer, especially to your point, people at the top that have been making a lot of money for a long time. That's not the way this works. We're all about the long-term sustainability. Awesome. And some distributors, like I said, Bandai. So if you're a Yu-Gi-Oh fan, Bandai's assuming most of it. So I don't think you're going to notice a difference there. Pokemon came out this week and said, price Pokemon market's up.
Well, I hope the hockey boys take a page out of TCG's and Bandai's playbook. It'd be nice.
We'll see. Again, we hope that in any industry, like, hey, listen, if you have kids and all of a sudden, I mean, I don't think it would ever get that extreme, but imagine, you know, you had to start looking at things like where your diapers were from. So, I mean, it's definitely there, and it's hopefully it's something that, you know, it's really petty at the end of the day. And we hope it all just kind of goes away. But again, diversification is very, 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 very important. Support your local shop. And, you know, my best piece of advice to like my colleagues in the industry is, what if there wasn't ever a better time for you to look at diversifying?
Sure.
You know, now's the time.
Very good advice. Okay, I want to talk about 2 more things before I let you go.
Give her.
Expo related a little bit more, and then National Hockey Card Day. So on the Expo,
I forgot about that one.
The trade night is back on Saturday night, right at the International Center, starting at 6 p.m. So you can go right from the show into there. It is a $5 entry fee, but the proceeds go to a charity near and dear to you, the Mackenzie Health Foundation. So it's pretty awesome that you're doing that again.
Yeah, so it's actually $3 US. If you want to make a donation, you can buy a ticket.
10 Canadian.
Just say it. So, mental health is very important. I have a great therapist. That's a big piece of my success. I've been a proponent of mental health and for my whole life. So when we started Mintink, prior to Mintink in my previous world, I had made this big contribution, and that world came crumbling down. So we built it back, and I said, hey, we're going to do this again. So we made a 5-year commitment for $100,000 to the Mackenzie Health Foundation for youth mental health. After this year's trade nights and golf tournament, we'll be at 50K. So we're halfway after 2 years. My goal is obviously to eclipse it. So the event is, as you said, happening right on site. It is right after, so it's uber convenient. We have room for about 500 or 600 people. Again, it's ticketed for 2 reasons. Number one, to control attendance. Number two, and way more importantly, is we donate the money and I match it, because once upon a time, somebody said something about the event because, everything should be free. So I said, you know what? We're not going to make it free, but let's go even one step further. So it's been tremendous. We sell it out every year. We're donating. So we're selling out 500 tickets. We're matching it. We're donating $5,000 twice a year, and we raise about another 10 or 20,000 at our golf tournament. So super important to me. Tickets are available. Tons of people just make donations. I'll match it all the way up to 5K. So up to $5,000, we can go way past the 2,500 and we'll match it.
Great
Yeah,
music.
and it's a great event, great music, great time. You're going to meet a whole bunch of people that have everything like you do in common. So we're going to make new friends. And thanks to great sponsors like Grosvenor and eBay and Slab Sharks and the Gong Show and Pather and the Sport Card Expo and Mikey and my team, we get to do it and have a great time.
Awesome. Well, look, we will be
Yeah.
there for sure. Looking
Love it.
forward to that. Could not miss that. And then talk a little bit about your plans for National Hockey Card Day.
So, okay, I'm telling you right now, and you're going to hear it on this podcast first before probably my creative in the video that I just shot. So, Upper Deck does National Hockey Card Day every year. And basically, it's a day where shops celebrate the hockey card hobby. So, there's limited edition packs that go out, and we'll do giveaways all day. We'll put all kinds of Upper Deck product on sale, even tariff stuff. We'll put all on sale. We'll have supplies on sale. We do giveaways all day. Upper Deck supports, we have a ton of freebies. So it's really just a great day for us to give back to the community and all the people that support the hockey card hobby. So this year, we're going to take it one step further. My buddy Grimazing, the level 7 magician, is back. Everybody's favorite superhero, Spider-Man, is coming back for an appearance. The kids love Spider-Man. We have some great music. My good buddy Carlo Coco Koliakovo, host of TSN's First Up and former, not Ottawa Senators, Toronto Maple Leafs first round draft pick, is hosting with me, and Wendell Clark's coming. So Wendell Clark will be on site. Yeah, Toronto legend. We just locked him up.
Ask him to come on our show.
I try, guys. I got to tell you, Josh asked me. I apologize. I'll work it for another time. It was very tough last minute. I'm just really happy. I promised the community I would get somebody. So Wendell's coming, and thanks to our good friend, the Felix Potvin Collector, and a couple of other sponsors, the event's going to be free. It's not going to be an autograph session. I'm not into that. I'm into like the community has a good time. So for an hour and a half, Wendell will be on site, shaking hands, I meant not kiss babies, ripping packs, taking photos, asking questions, just being a collector. So I'm really grateful to, again, my team and the community and Upper Deck and Anthony, the Felix Potvin Collector, for bringing it. So yeah, so myself, Coco, Grimazing, Spider-Man, Wendell, the team, free stuff all day. Where else you going? That's it.
Will there be refreshments?
Of course. Oh my God, I almost forgot. Pizzaville. Jeez, Freddie's gonna get mad at me. You talk for it. He's gonna say, I just listened to the podcast. You talked for an hour, you didn't stop talking, and you forgot to mention Pizzaville. Thanks to our partner at Pizzaville, who's a very large local Ontario chain, 100 locations. From 12 to 4, there will be pizza and refreshments available, courtesy as well. So it's going to be a great day. Basically, fun, free food, celebrities, guests, more fun. You driving up, Phil?
Well, I don't think he can, though, because he'll be in some small, ridiculous town in Canada, but he'll be shipping his boxes from Mintink.
If you send me a charter.
No, you know what, Phil? I'm sure our buddies Out of the Box is going to have a great day that day there. So make sure you at least get out there. For anybody else, there's some of these, I could tell you, Wayne's in Edmonton, Alberta, Wayne. He might be in Edmonton or he's Calgary. I don't know Gretzky, but this guy, 2,000 people will go through his store on Hockey Card Day. So some of these guys can pastime that have been doing this, these vets that have been doing this for 20, 30 years. I mean, that's where I'm trying to say, okay, Wayne, I'm going to get 1,500 people through my store. I won't get anywhere near that. So just forget about Mintink for a second. Any diamond dealer across Canada should be, and I can almost say most definitely will be celebrating National Hockey Card Day. So make sure you get out to your local LCS. And if you're in the Toronto area, Mintink's going to be killer that day.
Yeah.
Of course, always. Well, you're a beauty, Johnny, and you're always making
you guys
moves.
What a beaut.
And appreciate you. I think it's coming in and being honest and talking about how this is going to impact you and the hobby, and it is kind of a crazy situation, and hopefully it just ends sooner than later.
The way through it is, like I said, it's about unity and just checking egos and working together. And I'll say it every single time I'm on any interview, and people can say or think what they want, but for me, the greater good is what I'm after. The busier shows are, whether we're there or we're not there. The busier stores are, whether I own them or I don't own them, doesn't matter to me. If everybody's busy, we're all winning. The space grows together. Phil can love Mintink. He's not going to get in his car and drive 5 hours to come buy a box. There's 20 places he can go in between.
Phil would.
So I mean, it's important to me that people like you continue to give a platform to not only have fun and talk about the hobby, but talk about like this real life stuff that really predicates what people like I do every day and my counterparts to bring the experience to your listeners ultimately.
Yeah. Well,
Right?
we can't wait to see you next month in Toronto.
It's gonna be
And
like that a month today. Yeah. All right.
crazy.
Oh,
All right.
You guys are the best. Thanks for having me. And keep up the great work, boys. Love it.
We'll see you soon, Johnny. Bye. Well, thanks again to Johnny for jumping on the show and giving his honest opinion and sort of feedback of where things are at. How do you feel, Phil, as a Canadian with all this going down?
I don't know how I feel. I can't really put my finger on the pulse of the situation because the pulse is very fluid. So
Yeah.
like I said, I started, my business is starting very, very soon, and it takes a lot of preparation. So for the last 2 to 3 weeks, I've willfully turned a blind eye. When I went to buy Premiere, I was like, "Ho, what's going on here?" Right? And the owner let me know that it wasn't tariffed, so we didn't know if it was the Bedard tax or going on. But he gave me a little warning, and he said it's coming, unfortunately. And Johnny seemed to, the way he elaborated, I mean, whatever's happening with Johnny is happening to my LCS because we're in Ontario as well. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not a big wax buyer, but I am lately. So I don't have anything to complain about at the moment. I find the cards have been expensive without tariffs. This might just be a bit of a game changer, and it might affect sales for Upper Deck eventually. I don't know. I'm just hoping for good wax prices in the Fall Expo.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a bit selfish on my analysis.
Well, I thought a really good point that Johnny made was it's the double whammy of the strength and or lack thereof of the Canadian dollar and the tariff situation that's creating. And I just don't want to see shops or collectors suffer because of this. And like, we're not getting into the politics. It's not
We're
what
not
we're
quick.
about.
We're not Canadians aren't quick to, I don't know, fix something or we like to talk about it a lot first. So our government, I think Johnny mentioned it as well. Like we have a lot going on federally where we have no one to represent us in leadership to your country to talk about the tariffs at this point.
Yeah.
And I don't know who the best person is. I don't care. I don't like anybody. I'm done. Threw in the towel a while ago. So it's going to take some time. And I think Johnny implied that. It'd be great if it changed tomorrow. Will it? Probably not. And hunker down and try and find something positive.
Yeah.
Try and find something good in the hobby. This is just crap. You just be aware of it. It's good to be aware of things going on, but don't let it get you down, man. Try your best. I'm not letting it get me down. Look at your old cards. Maybe a good time to reconsolidate. Do what I'm doing, Try to stay
try
out
not
of
to let
it.
you get down on the hobby. Like I could make a comparative to not the tariff situation, but when I just decided I wanted to step back big time from wax in 23-24 because I just wasn't interested in paying the Bedard tax. And so I said, well, if I'm not going to buy wax, I'm not going to quit the hobby. I'll find there's so many other, and I've found all these other collecting avenues that I've had literally the best time. And I'm actually thankful that the whole Bedard tax
Yeah,
thing
it's a
happened
blessing.
because it opened my eyes to a whole bunch of things that I might not have been exposed to had I, didn't force myself to broaden my horizon.
Yeah, so unless you're in politics or a member of parliament or your day job requires you to give analysis and opinions of what's going on, you're gonna go crazy. I've like it just stay out of it and stay in the hobby. Don't leave the hobby. Don't get mad at your breaker if prices skyrocket. It's not their fault. Don't get mad at Upper Deck. Like let's all work through this together and find your way to do so. And don't
Maybe
leave the
go like
hobby.
buy a single from it because I think card shops are gonna, we don't want a whole bunch of card shops to be harmed by this. And so
Exactly. Yeah.
if you're not willing to pay whatever the hike is or the boxes, maybe buy a single or something like that from your local card shop and support
The
that way.
community, right? I love how we do our Gongshow because I feel like we're giving something back that's given me something in the past and currently in the future. So don't try not complain, vent, get it out, but that's it. You're done. Find something new like Josh did. Support your local LCS. They're just people too. I don't think your LCS owner is driving a Maserati. Mine drives a minivan and a Subaru. Okay, they're not rolling in it. They're doing okay, but they're not,
Sure.
So make sure the support goes all around if you can.
All right. Ready to move on to mailbag?
Mm.
Bunch of good questions again.
Sure.
Love mailbag. We're going to get right into it with starting with Discord, East Coast 76. He said, I've started working through old episodes of the podcast and was curious, what are some of your all-time favorite episodes? Who wants to go first?
I'm trying to find my answers.
I can go.
Okay.
Well, a lot of us got a lot of the same things. So,
Yeah.
Talking with Ken Reed, it's great. Yes, it's fresh, but the Trottier interview was great. And one of my favorite parts of the whole thing was busting Phil on his O-Pee-Chee McDavid.
Oh, that was amazing. That was fun.
I have not revealed it.
I still watch that.
Well, that's great. I'm so happy
that made me
we
too,
have there for
Kevin.
you.
I didn't write this down when Phil, pretty early on, when you lost your mind on the whole Danny Heatley thing, and like your hands were like,
oh, did I get hot and heavy? Yeah.
Was that in the truck when he knocked his phone off the dash 3 times when he was on location?
No.
Oh.
Yeah. That was funny when he did like the show from a cabin in your truck.
Oh, when I was with Mel, yeah. Yeah, that was, what are you doing in there? I'm like, okay, go away.
Well, I had Trottier on the top of the list. I had Ken Reed too, because we were kind of like smitten kittens with Ken Reed. And then Troy and I always loved the Gongshow Game Show episodes that we would do, because there'd be so much work, like hours and hours and hours with and it was so much easier to do when we were audio only, because you could make it like an old like radio program with all the stupid sound effects from the 1930s. But those are probably my highlights. What stands out to you, Phil?
I was gonna say, this is funny. Like, you picked Ken Reed over Brian Trottier, but it was the way we met Ken Reed and just at the Expo, and I was buzzing. And I've been watching Ken for years and years and years on television when I used to have cable, and that was awesome. I was very happy. I feel like Ken's kind of one of the boys, and his knowledge of his absolute unnecessary gargantuan amount of knowledge that Ken Reed knows is amazing.
He's a great storyteller.
I admire the way he does. I would love him to mentor this whole media thing, because I feel he's my spirit animal. Love Ken Reed. Brian Trottier was an absolute beauty. I was worried it was going to be like talking to one of your grandpas. And I'm like, oh my God. But it was nothing like that. Nothing. No. And I don't really want to meet these people, but I was very grateful to meet Trottier and chat with him. And he was definitely one of the boys. Good Canadian lad. And I really liked our O-Pee-Chee history master classes with Bobby Burrell. They were a little dry sometimes with the serial numbers, but if that's your jam and set collecting is my jam, you'd respect those segments, and they were really good.
All right. Great stuff. Discord, Mobits 2. I was talking with a collector about buying a 24-25 Series 1 high gloss Young Guns I wanted. He pulled the high gloss Young Guns, which was damaged. He sent it to Upper Deck. In return, got a different player's high gloss Young Guns, the one I wanted, and an exclusive Young Guns card of the player on the damaged card. So they aren't putting all the high gloss and exclusive cards in hobby boxes? ? Is this false advertising? We made 10, but you can only get 8 of them. Or is this smart business or poor quality control? Love the podcast. Let's go Blue Team. So here's the thing, Mobits. I know Upper Deck explained this to me once, and I can't remember how it goes. And it's bugging me. But I think there is an explanation that does kind of make sense as to how they manage this. And, but yeah, I mean, I don't know.
There you go, Mo.
Clarification.
Ask Josh all your questions. You'll get direct, accurate answers. Perfect. Good job, buddy.
Well, at least I'm not going to make something up.
No,
right?
I know.
I don't know the answer. But it's bugging me. So I'm going to find it out, and then we'll report back.
Can I read a question? I never get to read a question. I like reading.
All right. You can read. How about you read the rest of them?
Okay, I'll do it. Okay, next up, boys, we have Tolson70. Have you ever been so burned out of the hobby that you've considered retiring? If so, how did you get your mojo back? He's asking for a friend. So, Josh, why don't we go with you first?
Well, I would recommend if you. Well, number one, I think it's natural for interest to ebb and flow within a pastime or hobby that you have. I think though, what what I've observed when most people get kind of burnout is that they get too caught up in the
The burn.
I don't know how do you put this. They get too caught up in the
Righteousness.
Hype,
the hype aspect of the hobby.
FOMO hype.
Yeah,
Need it?
yeah, that's a great way to put it. And it's just I would just like try something different. I mean, if your intention is well, maybe take a break if that's what you want to do, or um, try to evolve your collecting. Get interested and learn about stuff that you've never collected before, that but you might be interested in, and that I think naturally freshens it up for you.
That's a good answer,
I don't know.
Josh. Well thought out. Louis, what do you think?
Try something you haven't tried before. Go at it at a different angle. I guess first things first would be, what's that thing that is bothering you right now with the hobby that's making you feel burnt out? And try to break that down and go in a different direction. Now, I'm not burnt out of it, but I needed to consolidate my collecting, and I just focused on wild stuff, North Star stuff, and then Brodeur and Madonna. I love my Brodeur Madonna stuff, and I still get it, but I'm getting burnt out on that. I might take another direction now and
Yeah, it makes
set that aside. Just screwing around with those Sign of the Times cards. That was fun, getting auto cards cheap of wild guys. That was my, I'm gonna go this way for a little bit and see what I can pick up on the cheap, and then in a month or something I might, I gotta grab that Madonna, then get back. You never know. Your mind's
Yeah,
weird
you
when it
pivot.
comes
You
to
pivot
that.
accordingly. You pivot
Mhm.
accordingly.
Do you
Good
guys think
answers.
that the ultra modern people that are chasing the rookies and kind of the huge wins and losses that
Cool.
come with that are most susceptible to the whole burnout thing?
That
Or
would
no?
kill me. Yeah, I agree. I think so.
I agree. So I responded. Great question, Tolson. It does happen, and it used to happen not frequently, but I'd say maybe more years and years ago. The last time I can remember something, I didn't get burned from the hobby, but I got sad from the hobby. I in 2012 I sold a Eric Carlson 3-patch auto in a parking lot in Ottawa, and I teared up, man. It was one of the worst. I needed the money to pay a bill. It was a bad couple of years for me. And so I didn't get burned, but I questioned whether to leave the hobby. I'm like, what's the point if I'm selling my best card, the card that means the most to me? What am I going to do? And you know what I did? I went to the card store and I bought a box of Panini Contenders. I would have never, ever done that. I was, I like my old sets, but I was all about the big banger cards back then.
Yeah.
And I was hooked. So, like I didn't jump off the bridge. I got talked down and I went for dinner and I had a good conversation. So it hurts. Yeah. So I don't imagine about getting ripped off. I have been ripped off, but I don't know. I consider that par for the course. I have different attitudes about that, but the feelings remain the same. If you're having a bad experience in whatever category of the hobby you're having, just chin up. Come on, you can do this. Apply the life lesson that is appropriate to that moment. And there are so many different ways to have fun and find friends in this hobby. And there's other sports, right? Like, if you're not a baseball, basketball guy, I don't know, you're a Disney guy. Are you a Marvel guy? Are you a Life? Like Pro Set has some of the cheesiest cards from the early 90s of Desert Storm. And like, if you're an Army guy, go find some Army cards. There's something for everybody. So,
Or maybe
yeah.
maybe just connect with friends.
Yeah.
Right. Because I
That's
mean,
what we're all
when you feel
looking
like you
for.
don't want to buy constantly, or there's nothing you want to buy, or you can't buy, then lean on your friends, right? And kind of use hockey or the hobby as a common interest, just to hang out with people you like.
Very well said, Josh. All right, guys. Next up, let's go to the next question. Coming from JT Hockey. JT's asking, when can we expect an intro song sung by Phil? I think you have enough voice clips for AI to make that happen. Josh, you want to go ahead?
Oh yeah.
No.
Can you sing?
No, I can't, but I like to. I enjoy it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably not then.
Louis?
Go for it.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to sing now, but I do like to dance and I do like to sing like nobody is ever watching.
I'll
So
see. I'll see. I'll go through my Philly clips and see if I can make a sentence.
Just use some auto tune there, big boy. That'd be
Get him
nice.
to sing. What was that song about Berserker? Berserker.
Have you seen The Northman? The Berserkers in the North? Oh, no, you wouldn't watch that, you big baby. All right, next question. Thank you, JT. Next question is from JB Hockey Cards, sworn enemy to JT Hockey. Okay, so he's asking, pulled a Matvey Michkov Young Guns on release day a few weeks back, and I sent it off to PSA. I have no interest in keeping it. Would trading a slabbed Michkov for a probably raw Connor Bedard Young Guns be a fair trade? Or would I have to throw in some cash to the offer? Louis, what do you think?
Cash is going to have to be exchanged.
All right.
What?
I think that here's where I went on this.
10 for well, if it's a 10, you might be able to go. I think you could easily go Michkov 10 for a raw Bedard.
I think that the Bedard guy would have to throw in. I mean, Rob Bedard's what, $250 right now?
How many?
Michkov 250, right?
Oh,
am I wrong?
Yeah. Well, yeah. No, I'm sorry. You're confusing me when you said that. If I was getting rid of a Michkov PSA 10 for a Bedard raw, yes, I would be getting the Bedard raw and cash.
Yeah, that's what I think too. Right out of the gate. No, 5 months from now, it'll be different. But these first couple months, and if he said, because I think the key to his question is he says, I sent it in right away. So you're going to, in theory, have one of the first, and we're assuming it's a 10. But I honestly think that you would get the Bedard and you would get cash if it's one of the first slabs.
All right. Good answer, boys. The question is framed with a sense of urgency. So I believe time is of the essence, I would think. All right, let's go next question. So this one's from South Swedish Cardboard. South Swedish Cardboard is asking, please pick one player that you had high hopes for coming into the league, but never really developed. My pick would be Linus Omark of the Oilers. Love your show. Keep up the great work. All right, I'll go first. Curtis Lazar, Sens management burned his tires too quick. I was very hopeful for Curtis Lazar.
Really?
Still like the kid, but just didn't work out for him. Josh?
For whatever reason, Alex Newhook came to mind, where
interesting.
People were very high on him after one season in Colorado. Then he had a not good season. Then he got traded to Montreal, and everybody knows once you get traded to Montreal, that's what's going to ignite your superstardom.
Yeah,
and
unless you're Patrick Laine. Well, he did good at the very, very beginning, and yes, all right, write Josh an email.
ELD.
Louis, anything?
No, I skipped over that one because I knew it was going to involve a little more thinking, and I never got back to it. Maybe I'll get back to it by the end.
Oh, I got some for you that you could. Alexander Holtz, right, from your team.
People
are super high on him.
Bad one. Oh, from that team, yeah.
All right,
Dawson Mercer he could be another one that's meh.
All right, next question.
Hey, hold on. I figured I got to change them right away for you because that's what you're reading off of.
Oh, sorry. Okay, it's from Hockey History and Memorabilia. Phil has the quote of the year, thank you, that sums up every collector after buying a box, almost every collector. I'm sure these are worth something to the right collector. I'm the wrong collector for these cards. End quote.
Now, what was that in reference to? Because it was kind of I thought, an interesting moment on your show.
It was the premiere box on Friday nights with Phil. If the good listener doesn't know, if it's your first time, when there's a new release, I purchase a box of hockey cards for myself. And the deal I've made with out of the box cards at my LCS is that they will match it and give it to the good listener for free. So I am a business owner. I do pretty good, but times are tough, and I'm also a single parent. So that box cost me after tax $534 and change. I got about $3 worth of cards in it on a monetary value. And it wasn't the best for me because I like to open lots of cards and look at inserts, and I have fun organizing.
Yeah.
And Premier only has 6 cards. So for
You could
95,
see it all over your face.
yeah, I was sad, man. Yeah, because I
You were
love
stunned.
yeah, I was just yeah, I was it was
Yeah,
hard.
it was a beat. It was a bad beat.
It was a bad, but you know what? Listen, I didn't have to buy the box. It was my choice. There's nobody to get upset at. If I bought that $534 after tax box and I didn't get a card that was worth more than $534 and I got upset and angry, shame on you, man. Shame on you. The value, there's lots of ways to get different value from these boxes. You know, $400 Makar card is not happening anymore. Young Guns. All right, I hijacked that question. You boys have anything to say?
I just think the reason why you kind of said what you said in there, it was right in the moment, and you didn't get what you wanted. It was just kind of a dud. So, hey, there's stuff in here for somebody else, but for me, nothing.
Yeah, it was a raw moment of good 5 minutes there. Yeah, go take a look if you want to see it.
I think quote of the year is a little rich.
Don't give Phil that title.
Remember, do we need more? This is the guy that just a few minutes ago needed what was it? Diffusional, whatever therapy,
Ego something,
ego
yeah,
therapy,
and
yeah, and humility training.
Bismol there.
Now you're giving him quote of the year. Oh my god!
All right, let's go to the next question. Photo Works. He's asking, or she, will Canadian comps increase with tariffs on net sets from the U.S. expected? Maybe. I don't know enough about adult world.
No.
Yeah,
I don't.
I think we gotta let it see it play out, right?
Yeah, well, if they listened, if you skipped Johnny's conversation, I encourage you to go back and have a listen.
Is this question saying, say, like, Bill, if you and I are both in Canada and we're trading or selling a card, it's going to be more expensive for you and me we're going to expect more to sell between each other versus if Josh and I did it down here.
Yeah, something like that. Like it's like if I hit a Crosby auto in a box that I bought that was tariffed, is that Crosby auto worth more now? So I would say no, I'm not baking the tariff price into my single perceived.
Well, and the whole Bedardapalooza has only proved that, right? It's like you just bought a $500 Premier box and it didn't make your $3 cards worth 20. It made them worth 3.
Yeah, and like if that Premier box was $250, I'm aware that it's a high-end product. I'm aware. I would have had a very different reaction if the box was $249, right? Much different. I know what I'm buying. $500? The system is broken, my friends. It's like whoa, you guys don't understand. Yeah, well, explain it to us. Okay, next question. We're going to Nick Andy 86. Stanley Cup predictions and Hart Trophy predictions, boys. I'll go first on this one. The Hart, I'm going to go dark horse. Ovi Ovechkin. I really believe.
You're such a sucker.
No, I'm not. I'm not at all. You're the one who put me on that hill, man. I really believe the team.
What?
I really believe the team has rallied
walked out on that plank. You ran out on that plank.
Sorry, Josh. I had to mute you. So I literally muted him. I muted him. I really believe the team has rallied behind him because there's no other way this feat is happening. And they're killing 2 birds with 1 stone with his goal race and ridiculous season. But it really should be McKinnon. He's actually the real life superhero and he wears a cape out there. So he's my real pick. But my heartstrings would pick Ovechkin. No bias, no sucking up, no kissing the ring of any sort.
Sure.
Yeah.
I know what my heart says.
Well, I went after Hellebuck and Edmonton.
Wow. I'm a little nervous about Edmonton with everyone hurt there. Right
now. They'll be fine.
And their lack of a goalie always.
They'll be fine.
I'm gonna do. I went with McKinnon to repeat the Hart Trophy, and Dallas.
Dallas. All right. Next question.
I honestly think that's the right one, but I wasn't going to write it down.
Yeah? Yeah, I don't know. All right. Next up, we have Danimal OCR. What's better worth my time? What's better worth my time in getting a single card, trying to trade for it, or buy it outright? Josh, what do you think?
Wow, it sounds like a personal preference question. I would just ask the other party if they have a card you're interested in, what they would want to do, and see what's most advantageous.
Nice. Louis?
Well, better worth your time is just go buy the damn single card. Don't mess around with trading it.
There you go. No words minced.
Get her
there.
done.
Get her done. I prefer the process of trading, but I tend to get less value out of the cards because it's me. But ultimately, I like both methods. I like trading and buying, and I find different joy in both. They both give a different little bit of a rush in the moment. All right. Next question we have from JBT
Oh my
HP
God.
Golf.
This is
this
is this your mom or your girlfriend?
No,
or something?
I don't talk to my parents. Okay. Can we get some ideas on how you protect the loud collector as a national treasure as Canada becomes the 51st state? I have so many things rolling in my head here. Go ahead, Josh. You can take it.
Well, we are politically Switzerland, and that is our official stance now as a show.
Yep.
But I'm as much as I make fun of him, I think Phil can take care of himself. So I'm not worried about him in any circumstance. And you guys are creating a monster. That's all I can
Feed it. Louis, what do you think?
I plead the fifth.
All right.
Ooh.
And Phil thinks, I'm very flattered. Thank you. I do tend to land on my feet quite often. And but I love the concern, though. Thank you very much, JBTHP Golf. So next question up, we have from IB Collects 1989. If Bedard doesn't turn his performance around, and I know you can't blame him because the team isn't great, do you see the 2023-24 product prices going back to normal? Josh?
No.
Louis?
Well, what's normal? They're gonna be.
Like,
they were high out of the gate. They come down a little bit, but they're gonna sit there.
I think he means like equivalent to 24-25 prices.
No.
Okay, so I do not as well. I think the potential is for sure baked into another season of hockey. Like Bedard's in 1 year from now scores a hat trick, his cards are going right back up. If not, they're not staying up there for a bit. That's what I think. It's too much hype going on. Too much has happened. No one who has a big Bedard card is giving it up for cheap yet. That's how I look at that. Next question we have from Kaz Schiller. 2 questions.
We do?
No?
Oh, dang. Did you add some, Josh? I might have missed a couple.
No. We can just read them off the sheet.
Sure, yeah, I can just read them. It's okay. So from Kaz Schiller, he's asking, Battle of the Connors. No, not a Terminator reference. If y'all had the choice of a McDavid or Bedard patch auto out of 23-24 Premier, which would you choose? So he's being specific. So would you rather McDavid patch auto out of Premier, or would you rather a McDavid or Bedard? Maybe you should read the questions.
No, I like this. I'm going Bedsy because it's a rookie.
Interesting.
You
think, Louis, I'll change my answer? I'm going McDavid because when I hit a Connor Bedard rookie card, it goes absolutely horrible for me.
Sure.
So I'm going McDavid and keeping the card. That's why I buy boxes, to keep the cards.
The only reason to keep the Bedsy would be because it is a rookie, but I would still take a McDavid. I would rather have a McDavid.
Louis with the right answer.
To you guys?
Pardon?
Can I make a confession?
Okay.
I don't know if I said this yet, but I think it's true.
Well, it's not a confession if you did. You already confessed. Can I reconfess?
Allow me to reconfess.
Okay, go ahead.
I 100% believe Connor McDavid is the most talented hockey player in the world. I have little to no interest in collecting his cards. Is that weird?
That's weird. Yeah. Great patches too. Well, because you're priced out, man. I see how you buy cards. You're not, what are you going to buy? A base card? You'd be like, I don't know. Would you do $150? His cards are expensive, Josh. I have like 6 McDavid cards and they're all like cost me, I'm at like over $5,000. You know what I mean?
Can you mute me again, please?
All right. Next question. If y'all are ripping, at what product tier would you not sleeve all the cards, including base? Obviously, most of us are sleeving all the cup cards that we rip. That is, if we can afford it, a tin. Ha! I would sleeve 100% down to the stature or SPX tier when it was 1 pack per box. The same for top loaders. Would you top load everything in Premiere? I would. Kaz Schiller says. Probably would not top load everything in SPX or Stature, though. Oh, by the way, Phil, I spent time in the South, but y'all is simply easier to say and type. Oh, cool. All right. Louis, what do you think?
I insert. I sleeve any insert, or, I guess I can't say numbered right away, but I'll sleeve an insert card or anything good right away. That's pretty much about it. I don't know if I'd sleeve every base out of the cup. I'm kind of odd like that. I don't know. Someday when I open a tin, I'll let you know. But
Well, they're thicker cards. You got to get big sleeves, and I hate doing that. That's cup one touch all the way for me. Josh, what do you think?
I sleeve any insert, hit, or numbered base card.
Good answer. I never sleeve anything right away. I know I should. I always plan to. I want to. It just never seems to happen. Being honest. All right,
two more protection, eh? Okay.
That's no fun that way. All right, so 2 questions left. Doghouse hockey cards. Love Doghouse. Will either of these things affect Gretzky card values long term? Political position with Trump or Ovechkin beating his goals record? Asking for concerned Canadians. We almost got away with it.
On steroids?
We almost got away with it. I'll go last because I'm Canadian.
Well, I say no.
Good question, and not get into the whole firestorm by this. So try to answer carefully. Is this going away, or is it lingering? Is it building? Like what's the sentiment?
I think it's going away, but it left a bad taste in certain types of people's mouths.
Okay.
Yeah, and they won't let it go, right? So, yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. No, either. So I would compare. I'm going to bring up something a little different. Like society's funny, media's funny. Don't get upset. Reality is reality. But Kobe Bryant got into a lot of trouble early on in his career, and he got to live a very prosperous and positive career. So that's how I'll answer that. I don't think Wayne did anything remotely close to that, and he's being vilified. I would really like you to just analyze everything I just said. And to close that off, I truly believe in the bottom of my heart, this part of history will have an asterisk in it because we desperately need to move on. And yeah, that's my answer. And last question we have, long-term value, young guns or game used patches?
This is a hard. Well,
I said unfair question.
This question needs to be more specific because if you're saying like a gold outburst Young Guns seems to have more long-term value than any other card. But if it's a base Young Guns, then I'm going to the game used patch. You get my drift?
Yeah, Habs fan _NS. Great question, but it was unfair. Well said. Louis, anything?
I just put it depends on the player, and then for like the Young Gun, and then depends on what set that game used patch is in too.
All right. Well, that's the end of my segment. Josh, you want to pick it up?
I think we'll have you read those. I like that.
Good job, Phil.
It's Personal Pickups, where Phil takes a giant dookie on Josh's new cards. Then Josh cries himself to sleep later that night.
It's funny because it's true.
It's actually not, because I'll probably start crying about 3 minutes after we start recording the show. So it won't be later that night. Yeah. Phil, what do you got?
Nada. Didn't get nothing.
Oh.
Well, I'm sorry. I didn't want to show all my Premiere cards. Pick at the scab. Yeah, all 6 of them. I got a words card. I have an idea for you. Did you see my words card?
Yeah.
They love sending me word cards.
You should do like a breaker style like hits video based on your box of Premiere.
Yeah,
you're like shaking. You're like, oh my god, a Pavel Mitchell.
I cringe at that stuff. The slow reveal. That's my only beef with Grant. His slow reveal. Oh my goodness. I just want to get in there and mess up all his hands.
Bobo Lubai, what did you get?
Nothing.
I did a little more work on the holotypes because I'm still trugging along there. I got 3 more.
Oh.
Travis Konechny.
No one cares.
Marchand and Braden.
Oh. I like Marchand.
So,
Point's good. Konechny, should he have really gotten one of these cards?
I don't know. So I think I've got like 9 left. something like that?
Let me know. Listen, I have got like I have like 3 Konechny's. Send me your list. I have a bunch of doubles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, good show, boys. If you like the episode, please leave a rating and review on Apple, Spotify, whatever podcast app you listen to us on. If you love the show, want to chat with us on the Hockey Cards Gongshow Discord server, support us, please consider a $5 a month donation. Join our $2.99 support level tier via Patreon. So you can get the link in our website, hockeycardsgongshow.com. Go to Patreon directly, patreon.com. Or you'll find it. We're on social media. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube. And boys, the Hockey Cards Gongshow podcast is a production of Dollarbox Ventures LLC. Have an awesome Monday, a great start to your week, and we can't wait to be back with you on Thursday. Louis, take us out, buddy.
Bye.
Yo, it's the Gong Show. We're dropping the facts. Hockey cards on fire, no holding us back. Josh looking sharp, the face of the scene. Feeling pork chop pants, rocking it clean. Baba Louie in the booth, he's the man with the plan. The best producer in all the land. Gong Show Nation, let's hit the flow. It's the Hockey Cards Gong Show. Let's go, let's go. Wanna say the Mintink show.